Alright, welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing Live Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the land of iron and snow, that is Canada. Today on the 25th of November, a brand new transmission. By the way, that's what I'm calling Canada now, the land of iron and snow. I've been trying to get that rolling. Every time I mention it to people, they look at me with a mixture of hatred and disgust. And as well they should, because it's pretty lame to try to give a country a new nickname. How's everybody doing out there? Hope you're all doing well. This is Mr. BDA with you. I talk a little boxing, and with me as always, the one and only King Butcher King. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me very well?
Yeah.
Perfect. Just wanted to get that out of the way. A little sound check. There's a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. A lot to talk about. First of all, let's get this out of the way. If you want to join us, send us a message via Google Hangouts by typing that message and sending it to the email address that's on the bottom of the screen. That is boxingdebate@hotmail.com, boxingdebate@hotmail.com. And send us an instant message. We'll send you a link, and boom, you'll be able to join us. All you need is a good microphone. Decent microphone, could be from your phone, could be from any type of microphone, webcam microphone, whatever. So we're gonna start talking about boxing here, and like I said, lots to talk about. Julian Williams fought last week. Today is the return also of the Krusher, Sergey Kovalev, taking on Shabranskyy, who is a tough opponent. Also on the undercard, Yuriorkis Gamboa against Jason Sosa. Pretty good matchup there. It's a bit of a crossroads fight for both guys. And we can also talk about Rigondeaux-Lomachenko, which is fast approaching, as well as Saunders versus Lemieux. So there is a lot to talk about. And King Butcher, is there anything you want to say before or to start off the festivities?
Not really.
Come on, King Butcher, you got to see something, fuck.
About the festivities.
All right.
These festivities. Well, I'm excited about this card.
We got Covert Operative already in the
fights,
chat room. Covert Operative, shout out to him, already in. I think is he the first one in?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's certainly the first one. And Kaiser Kobe just appeared. Kovalev comeback, that's right. Kovalev comeback. All right, I'll start off then, King Bucho. Let's talk about Kovalev then. The big return. Listen, Sergey Kovalev, I'm still a little torn about what's going to happen with this guy, because for a while there he was invincible, but it can happen sometimes with a guy where he comes back after being, let's face it, that the stoppage against Ward was controversial, but Kovalev was getting Ward down. He was hit with a big right hand that wobbled him prior to that. I'm wondering if his skills and his power are going to be able to overcome that little setback that he suffered against Ward twice, by the way, because he did lose the first one as well via controversial decision. So now we got to wonder if what he has left. He's 34 years old, he's changing trainers, and from what John David Jackson said publicly, the guy doesn't train all that hard, and he can't take it to the body either. That's right, Kaiser Koba just said that on the chat. Not gonna sugarcoat it, Kovalev can't fight off the inside. He can't. He did a good job against Ward, I would say, of tying him up on the inside. But it's clear that when the going gets tough and somebody's able to take his power and pressure him, like Ward was able to do, and even when Chilemba was able to make him miss a whole bunch of times, Kovalev's stamina didn't seem to be the best. So I don't know, King Butcher, what do you think? What do you expect from Kovalev today?
I think he's going to win by knockout. I think he's going to be back. He's going to impress us with a knockout, and he's going to be back in the mix. He's going to end up fighting Sullivan Barrera. I really want him to win by knockout, because I think he's not done yet. And I still have hopes that a third fight with Andre Ward can take place.
See, first of all, I'm trying to log into BoxRec. I'm trying to look the records. Now you got to log into
yeah.
Since when?
I don't know. A few days ago, I think.
Fuck them. I'm going to use Wikipedia. What do you think about that, BoxRec? Suck my dick. All right, sorry. You were saying you want to see a third fight against Ward. Well, so you're assuming that Ward is going to be coming back then?
I think so. I think he's going to need the money. He's going to come back.
Yeah, you know
what? Listen, he can't just fucking leave like that. It's like he didn't accomplish anything at light heavyweight besides beating Kovalev. beating, in quotations.
Well, look, he did beat him. I mean,
Like,
I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go through the whole rigmarole all the time. Every time
when
you
it's a
mention-
controversial, okay, here you go. Why did Manny Pacquiao and Marquez fought 4 times?
because they had unfinished business.
When Pacquiao won, yeah, but when Pacquiao won the second and third fight, because they were close, controversial, decisions, so they had to go for a 4th fight.
Yeah, but unfortunately, go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
what?
Well, unfortunately, it took about
Nothing. I'm just saying. God damn it, just go.
It took about 3 or 4 years to get a rematch. Like, okay, the first Marquez Pacquiao fight took place in 2004. Second one, 2008. Third one, 2011. That's 3 years later. And then finally, the fourth match took place 1 year later. But that was because mostly Pacquiao was out of options at that point. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe a rematch, if it's going to happen, it has to happen sooner rather than later, because neither guy is all that young. Both guys are in their mid-30s or about to be in their mid-30s. So, and the reason why I mentioned Ward coming back, I don't think it's going to be because of the money. I think it's going to be because he's going crazy right now, I bet. This guy's a very competitive fella. Boxing is his life, and he's pretty good at it. I'm pretty sure.
He's also finding out that a lot of people don't give him credit for those 2 wins.
Well, yeah, maybe that too.
And
I think he's going to come back.
it's going to hurt his ego. It's going to hurt his ego, and he's going to come back. Also the money, man. Come on, there's more money. He's going to regret it because he can still fight now. He's not washed up, so the more he waits, the more he will regret. Go like, you know what? Maybe I should have fought at least like 2 more times, get 2 big paychecks or something.
Right. But going back to Kovalev, man, I mean, he couldn't take it to the body, man. And he did a good job. I was rewatching the second fight. He was catching Ward with a lot of jabs in the second fight. I think actually there were harder jabs than in the first one, and he busted up Ward's nose. So Kovalev definitely still has skills, and the problem is that, man, the inside fighting and the stamina, because I mean, there's monsters in the light heavyweight division now. It's not just Ward. We got Bivol in there. We got Gvozdyk. Beterbiev. Who else we got? Stevenson's still around. I mean, come on, man. All right, Kaiser Kobe is saying, any interest in Manuel Char versus Alexander Ustinov? Is that tonight? Or today, actually? Maybe it's right now. Kaiser Kobe also says, he'll be funny watching Jason Sosa beat up Gamboa on the undercard. Yeah, I think Jason Sosa's, as long as that Lomachenko fight didn't take too much out of him, I think he's still going to be too much for Gamboa. Let's not forget that Sosa does have a win over Javier Fortuna, I should say, who's a pretty slick guy, and he was able to track him down at the end of the fight and knock him out, or stop him, actually. So I don't know if Gamboa at this point has enough to... I think pretty sure the early rounds, Jason Sosa is going to have to get used to the speed, but after that... What else are people saying? Covert Operative says the fight doesn't interest him. Fight Strike, aka... Oh, Cameron is in the chat. What's up, Cameron? If you remember, guys, if you want to join us, send us a message via the email address that's on the bottom of the screen. Send us an instant message via Google Hangouts, and we'll return to you, or we'll return a link to you, I should say, and that way you can talk to us.
I rewatched Gamboa against Robinson Castellanos.
Okay.
And I mean, Gamboa just he fights like he always fights, right? His hands are low.
Yeah.
He looks too erratic, and I'm like, so why did people get so excited when Terence Crawford, who is an elite fighter, destroyed a guy like Gamboa? And remember, Gamboa hurt Crawford there, huh? So why were people so impressed with that performance?
Well, I'll explain to you why, but could you DM Fight Strike a link to the chat, please, while I talk?
Yeah.
All right. I'll tell you my point of view of why I give Crawford credit for that Gamboa win. First of all, yeah, in hindsight, we know Gamboa has a lot of flaws and that he's just not as good as people thought he was going to be back in 2007. But here's the thing. Gamboa, at that point, was undefeated. He had beaten a handful of good fighters, decent fighters, like Orlando Salido, Ponce de Leon, although that fight was a little too a little bit too competitive for my taste. But that's when we started realizing that Gamboa wasn't all that. But listen, he was undefeated. He was full of confidence. He had hand speed. He had power. And the way that Crawford beat him, it was a sensational win. You know, after he turned southpaw, Gamboa couldn't do anything with Crawford. Once Crawford turns southpaw and you can't deal with him, it's over, man. And that's what happened with Gamboa. So that's why I think that's a good win. Okay. All right. So what do you think about that?
Well, the thing is, Gamboa was a bit small, man. I mean, I think he's always been a 130 pounder. He was never really good at 135. So, and then on top of that, fighting a guy that's bigger and as good as Terence Crawford, I don't see that win as that impressive in my opinion anymore. Gamboa is extremely flawed. Like somebody said, I think Kaiser Cobra just think that he's going to get knocked out in this fight. He's done.
Yeah, he's probably going to get knocked out, but I mean, that doesn't really have to do much with the fight. That I give Crawford credit for that original defeat that Gamboa has on his record. I mean, it's a pretty good win, man. Come on, he was undefeated. He was running through people, running circles around him. So I think that's a good one. Of course, now he's what? He's in his mid-30s, I think, too, Gamboa, or maybe even that. But it's funny.
He's gonna be 37 in. Wait, I wrote it down.
My goodness.
In December, he's gonna be turning 36.
Can you believe that? It seems like it was almost yesterday when he became professional and he was fighting on ESPN and looking like the next Roy Jones. That's what a lot of people thought. But then I forget what was the name of the guy he fought on HBO. I think it was his first fight on HBO, and he ended up getting dropped twice, I believe, or maybe once. And he beat up the guy pretty good. But that was one of the first signs where we saw, okay, this guy, there's something missing him. And I'll tell you what's missing with Gamboa, really, is that he doesn't really go in there with a game plan. He's so physically talented. His reflexes are so good, his hand speed and power back when he was fighting at the lower weights, that he just goes in there and thinks, okay, I'm just going to ballpark it, I'm just going to eyeball it, actually. I'm just going to eyeball it and see what happens, see what the guy has to offer me, and then I'll just beat him up or outbox him, whatever. But he got dropped a whole bunch of times, got knocked out, not twice, stopped, so the future doesn't look all that good, and I don't think he can beat a strong, determined guy like Jason Sosa. And I don't think that Lomachenko took that much out of Sosa physically. Maybe mentally, yeah, because whenever somebody makes you look like an amateur, the way Lomachenko did, things can get pretty hard. By the way, Fight Strike, I sent you a direct message via Google Hangouts, so it should be on your... If you log on to Google Hangouts, you should see the invite. Okay, what are the people saying in the chat room? Gamboa has an extremely shaky shin, says Dead Vibes. Oh, hey, shout out to Dead Vibes. Shout out to Luis Catorce, who also joined in, and Armand Kirkland as well. Yeah, Gamboa has a shaky shin, man. That's the book on him. Listen, the secret is out with this guy. He's got a bad chin. And now that he's old and he's still fighting with his hands down and he's not as fast as he was, that's a recipe for disaster right there. But it should be an interesting fight. Covert Operative says he's looking forward for Taguchi versus Melindo. Yeah, Melindo, I heard. Who told me that Melindo didn't look all that good in his last fight? I think it was Reverse Lee, who is in the chat room, by the way. Shout out to Reverse Lee.
Yeah, Reverse Lee is like the expert on those lower weight divisions.
Yeah, on those. I think he's living in Thailand right now. I mean, what else, man? He's in Thailand getting hit with bamboo sticks in the calves, to strengthen them. It's ironic, says Covert Operative. Gamboa in 2017 is remarkably active but washed up. He was an animal. He was involved with all sorts of problems. Well, that's what happens when... Didn't he fight...
He's talking about 50 Cent?
What?
He's here talking about one of the problems was him signing with 50 Cent.
Oh, yeah. And wasn't he fighting for a German promotion at one point? Or is that right now?
I don't know.
He was fighting for a German promotion, I think. By the way, Fight Strike, I sent you the link, so... I'm going to send it to you again just in case. It's on Google Hangout. So, yeah, check that out. If anybody else wants to join, just send us a direct message to the address that's on the lower portion of your screen, boxingdebate@hotmail.com. By the way, Bushu, is it Hotmail or Gmail? Because we were having some problems the other day, and I started wondering...
Hotmail.
It's Hotmail? Okay.
The Boxing Debate @hotmail.com.
All right, perfect. So, yeah, Gamboa, man, that's an interesting fight right there, and... Jason Sosa, let's see what he can do, man, because it's a pretty interesting division where he is. So we'll have to take a look at that. And going back to Kovalev for a moment there, because I wasn't finished with that guy. The light heavyweight division right now, HBO needs a good light heavyweight. And Kovalev is that guy. And if he can, depending on how he looks. Oh, by the way, King Butcher, you said you want to see a knockout, is that correct?
An impressive knockout.
An impressive. You love knockouts. I mean, who doesn't?
An impressive domination. An impressive domination.
Okay, but if he, let's say he struggles a bit with Shabranskyy early on, maybe Shabranskyy, who has a new trainer, I think it's Manny Robles. Let's say he starts causing Kovalev some problems, and it's not until later on in the fight that Kovalev takes him out. Would you be happy with that, or would you be disappointed?
No, I'd be happy. Yeah. He's coming off a loss, so he has a new trainer. That's an okay win, I guess.
Yeah, let's see what Shabranskyy brings to the table.
Shabransky's a tough guy. I mean, just watch that fight against him against was it Sullivan Barrera? I mean, he went down like I don't know how many times. He kept going forward. This guy's a fucking animal. Yeah,
he's tough, but his technique, man, he looked a little too sluggish when he was fighting Barrera. Getting hit too easily, if you ask me.
He lacks defense, yeah.
Absolutely. We got Fight Strike on the line. Cameron, right? Cameron, you there?
Yeah.
Hey, how are you, man? Good to have you back.
Yeah, thank you for having me back. How you doing? How you guys doing?
Perfect.
Sensational, man. Curious to get your thoughts on Kovalev's return here. What are you expecting from him tonight?
I'm expecting a fast and aggressive. Yeah, I think it'll be looking like a statement tonight. I've seen a lot of people writing off Kovalev after their ward fights, but let's be honest. I mean, this is a guy who was, built as the man, the #1 light heavyweight in the world before them fights. And, now Ward's retired. Nobody else has been able to beat him. So I think people have been a bit harsh in saying that, he might be mentally shot and he might be finished. So I think Kovalev, I think we're going to see the typical Kovalev. I think we're going to see the aggressive Kovalev who's boxing beyond the jab, and he's a bit more disciplined, but I think he's going to come out fast, and I think he'll be looking to take him out early.
You think he's going to come in? You think he's going to come in with the mentality of trying to prove something based on what happened against Ward the last fight?
Yeah, I think he'll come out with the same approach he had against Pascal in the rematch.
Oh, you think he's going to come in with that type of edge?
Yeah, definitely in the return fight. I think he feels like he has something to prove, and I think he's going to come out with a killer instinct. And I think he'll be looking to take him out early. Okay,
now I'm curious about something here, because we heard a lot of behind-the-scenes talk about John David Jackson, what he had to say about Kovalev. We heard what Kovalev had to say about John David Jackson. Now Kathy Duva has been weighing in, saying that Kovalev is looking happy in training camp. From what you've heard or from what you've read, what exactly do you think is going on here? Is this a bit of a 50-50 thing where it's Kovalev and John David Jackson are two hard-headed people, or is it just one person in particular who's particularly abrasive?
I think there's been kind of a rift for a while. I'm not sure if you remember back to he fought Chilemba before he fought Ward in the first fight, and there was kind of rumblings about there potentially being some sort of rift between Jackson and Kovalev then. I feel like it didn't really affect. I think their relationship really got that bad until the rematch. And Kathy Duva obviously said that they wanted to get rid of Jackson before the rematch. And I just feel like they've kind of, Kovalev said some things and Jackson said some things, and Jackson's still saying some things. And there was a few coming out today that he said some other things. But I think Kovalev wanted to get rid of Jackson a lot longer before than he actually did. And so I think it really affected. I think their relationship problems really affected his performances against Ward. I don't think they were listening to each other. They weren't working together. And I'm not saying that he would have won if that problem was sorted, but I feel like that affected him and his mentality in both the Ward fights and probably the Chilemba fight as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he does now.
Yeah, because that's what I'm curious about. From a technical standpoint, Kovalev looked very sharp prior to the Ward fights, and even in the first, even in the Ward fights, I should say. So I'm wondering how much of that was John Davis Jackson's influence, or was it just Kovalev going all out, and it was all Kovalev without actually fighting without a trainer?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of both. I think Kovalev didn't want to listen to Jackson, and I feel like Jackson wasn't putting in as much care into Kovalev's game plan and fights as he used to. That's what ended. I thought he won the first Ward fight. Don't get me wrong. So it wasn't like their relationship has affected him for the last few fights. I just feel like their relationship was breaking down over a period of time, and that's why it just all kind of went in the Ward rematch. And obviously, that's why it ended. I think even if Kovalev would have won that fight, I don't think they would have stayed together. I think that their relationship just kind of went on the decline over the last sort of 12 to 18 months.
Yeah, I was rewatching that second Kovalev-Ward fight. Kovalev was actually landing better jabs, I thought, than the first fight. I thought he was outboxing Ward. It was still a competitive fight, don't get me wrong. But I thought if Kovalev could have kept that up, he would have won the fight. But then again, that's his problem, man. He's got stamina issues. John David Jackson said that he can't take it to the body. So I'm wondering what type of Kovalev are we going to see, because John David Jackson said that Kovalev didn't train hard. So and he said that Kovalev doesn't listen and that he wants it all his way during training camp. So do you think we're going to see a well-prepared Kovalev, or is he still running the train?
Can you repeat that last bit? I missed the last bit.
Do you think that Kovalev is going to show up in shape, or do you think he's running the show in his training camp and he's going to show up in subpar condition?
Oh no, I've seen sort of footage and I've seen photos. He looks in good shape, Kovalev. I think he knows. I mean, I spoke to him. I think he knows that this is basically a make or break fight. If he loses the fight tonight, where does he go? You know what I mean? I think if he loses to Shabranskyy, he's kind of left in a bit of a wasteland. And he obviously talked about retirement after the Ward fight. Obviously, he changed his mind. He's saying all the right things. He's saying he wants to get the title back. He wants to unify. He wants to be recognised as the best in the division again. But how is he mentally? You can say all the right things, but it doesn't mean he feels that inside. He may be the same fighter. It may make him a better fighter. There's so many questions that need to be answered tonight, and I think we'll get a few of them tonight. If he goes in there and destroys Shabranskyy, then we know, that he's going to be going back and he's going to be looking to dominate the division again. If he looks subpar, I think people are going to be a bit more hesitant about him, because Shabranskyy, he's already lost to Barrera. And, he's won a couple of good fights, solid fights since that loss. Kovalev really should go in now. I mean, if this fight was before the Ward fight, say if he fought Shabranskyy after Chilemba, a lot of us would be talking about Kovalev being a mismatch. We'd be talking about Kovalev going in there and probably destroying Shabranskyy. So now because Ward's beat him, people have got questions about Kovalev and whether he can take a punch to the body, whether he's the same fighter. So they think Shabransky's got a chance. I think Kovalev... I'll be surprised if Kovalev lost this fight, personally.
You know what? That's a good point, man. If he would have beaten Ward, or he would have continued doing what he was doing in the second fight, we would be talking about this as a mismatch. But, it's because we've seen that type of thing happen before. A fighter who looks unbeatable finally loses in a comprehensive fashion, and all of a sudden he comes back and he's not the same anymore, because mentally or because of physical issues, I don't know. But it's true. I mean, we'll see what happens with him. Now, that's the other thing with Kovalev is, I don't know, you said that he told you he looks, or that he feels he's well prepared, that he feels great. But then again, he said that prior to the first Ward fight, and then coming into the second fight, he said that he was in better shape, and then now he's saying that he wasn't in shape for the second fight. So you know how it goes with fighters. They always say they're in the best shape. They always say they feel great. They're never going to tell you about that little injury they had during training camp, or the fact that they feel flat. So, but having spoken with him, how did he sound to you? I mean, does he sound confident?
Yeah, I spoke to him a few weeks ago, and he said, I asked him about how he's feeling after the Ward fights, and how he's feeling about his return. And he said, he was thinking about retirement, but it was kind of in the heat of the moment, and he didn't really want to retire on the back of 2 losses to Ward, which is understandable. And I think he feels like if he was going to retire, he would have had that sort of question mark of, could I have done more? So I think that's why he's back and he's carrying on. But I feel like he needs to prove something to himself. He doesn't need to prove anything to anybody else. He needs to prove something to himself. He wants to get the belts back. Heavyweight's a stacked division, and he said that to me. Light heavyweight is completely opened up now. You've got Bivol, you've got Barrera, you've got Beterbiev, you've got Gavizdik. Badou Jack's there. I mean, you've got Stevenson as well, but all these top fighters there, and I think Kovalev wants to prove himself as the best of that lot. And that's why he's back, and I feel like he's got that motivation, he's got that drive to do that, and I feel like if he wins tonight, it's going to be a lot better for the light heavyweight division rather than if Shabranskyy wins, because Kovalev's got a name, you know, there's big fights there. You've got better BF, that's a big fight in Russia. I think Kovalev knows all these things. You know, he knows what could be ahead for him, so he's up for the challenge. I know that. That's what it sounded like to me, anyway.
That's a good segue into the question, which is, should he beat Shabranskyy? Where does he go from here? I mean, let's show the ratings here, light heavyweight, and let me see if that's on the screen. There we go. All right, so we got the ratings up on the screen. And look, man, like you said, loaded division. We still have Joe Smith Jr. in there, Marcus Brown, Badou Jack, who just made his arrival, Sullivan Barrera, who is going to be fighting tonight as well, Dmitry Bivol, Beterbiev, Gvozdyk, Alvarez, Kovalev, and of course Stevenson. So, from a realistic point of view, should Kovalev win, who do you see him being matched up against? Like, who's the guy do you think that's available and that makes the most sense right now?
I'd like to say Beterbiev, but obviously he's got the promotional issues, so it probably won't be him, and unless that gets settled before spring. Realistically, I think Bivol's probably the most likely fight, because, you know, Kovalev's been talking about wanting the WBA. Bivol's wanted a big fight. Bivol's probably the most realistic fight that he can get. I mean, we're not going to get Stevenson. You know, we're not going to get Beterbiev. You know, I think Bivol's going to be the fight that we get. If it's not Bivol, then it's going to be some contender, you know, that he defends against. But I'd like to see Bivol. I think a lot of people are touting him as the future of the division, so I think that's the fight to make. You know, the kind of the recognised best light heavyweight in Kovalev against the guy that people see dominate the division. I think that's the fight that they should make next.
But you think people would be excited for that fight?
Well, you know, the purists will. You know, the people who really follow the sport will be excited for that fight. Yeah, I'm sure you will. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a good fight. Bivol's a great fighter. I mean, obviously he's had some good wins. You know, he beat Gonzalez, and he's beaten some good fighters. You know, he's had a good sort of few good runs. Obviously, his last fight wasn't great. You know, Broadhurst wasn't a great fighter, but I want to see Bivol win a big fight. So that's why I want to see that fight, and I think that's just more realistic. Stevenson, you know, that fight's not going to happen. You know, if it was going to happen, it would have happened years ago. You know, the sort of last 2-3 years. Beterbiev, he's in a massive promotional issue, and the only reason his last fight happened was because Top Rank won the purse bid. Nobody knows when he's going to return. Close to that, to Beterbiev's camp. Even I don't know when he's going to return. I don't even think they do. So Bivol's the most realistic fight. I'll be honest.
Man, that's a good... Yeah, I think that's the one that's going to be made, though. I mean, Hamed, who's one of our regular panelists, he seems to be really high on Bivol. He really expects big things from him. I don't know how good he is. I mean, he certainly looks good, but I don't know if he's ready for a guy like Kovalev. But, I mean, that again depends on how Kovalev looks tonight. Now, as a fan, what fight would you like to happen for Kovalev? Should he beat Shabranskyy?
Oh, it's got to be Beterbiev for me. I mean, that's just a massive fight. You know, that's not going to go the distance. They've got history there. You know, they've kind of been I mean, Beterbiev's not a big trash talker, but he's kind of, even in my interviews with him, he's been kind of digging at Kovalev. You know, Kovalev's been saying a lot of things about him, and Beterbiev's basically saying that he talks too much. So there's kind of history there. That's the best fight, one of the best fights that can be made in boxing right now. If I was going to name a top 3, that would be in my top 3. That's the fight I want to see.
That's interesting. Yeah, listen, as long as he takes on a guy, I mean, on any of the top guys from the light heavyweight division, that would be a good one. Personally, I would like to see him fight Stevenson. I mean, if I could have a wish, and you know, I know it's an unrealistic fight to make, but I'd want him to take on Stevenson, man, because that's just should have happened a long time ago. And Stevenson, he's in what? He's gonna be 40, or he is 40, maybe even 41. I don't know.
Yeah, he's 40. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's time it's time for that fight to happen and just settle things right now. Stevenson, who was rumored to take on the long-standing mandatory Eleider Alvarez, But I don't know if that fight's even going to happen now. I mean, they were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, and all of a sudden now they're saying that they might fight on the same card, but not against each other. So, yeah.
Yeah, that could be happening. Well, they're looking at March now for that fight, but it could be Jack and Alvarez could fight somebody else, but they're still working that out. But last I heard was that will be in March if it's going to happen.
You mean the fight with all of those guys on the same card?
Yeah, or Stevenson against Alvarez. Either one, they might fight each other. They might fight on the same card. It'll be in March either way.
Well, listen, as long as Stevenson fights either Alvarez or Badu Jack, no more Fanfaras, no more Thomas William Juniors. I mean, I want to see him take on somebody that's on the top 3. Who's sending me a message here? Oh, all right. Hold on a second. I just got to send an invite here. But
yeah, that's not everybody would agree with you. I feel like I've never disregarded Stevenson as a fighter. It's just the opponents he's faced hasn't been satisfying enough. Anybody who doesn't have an agenda will agree with that. Stevenson's just had such an under par title run.
Right.
Don't be saying he's a bad fighter. I've never said he's a bad fighter. I just want to see him fight the best guys, and I wouldn't have an issue with him fighting Alvarez or Jack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, the PBC had, how they do things. They have a very bizarre way of acting. So, as long as, like I said, he takes on somebody, either Alvarez, Badu Jack, or even Beterbiev, and we'll get back to Beterbiev. But first, I just want to welcome Ray, who's back on the podcast. How are you, Ray?
Good, man. How you doing?
Sensational, man. Thanks for joining us. We're talking about Kovalev's return and how the future might look for him, or what the future might hold should he win this fight. I wanted to say about Beterbiev, he didn't look as dominant or as impressive in his last fight, but then again, that was because he was fighting a guy that was on the defensive. Despite that, the lackluster win, even though he knocked him out, by the way, but it was still lackluster. Would you guys still then be willing to see Beterbiev against Kovalev? I mean, I'm going to ask that question to Ray first, because Cameron already answered that one, but yeah, go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, most definitely. It's so hard to look good against a fighter that's there to survive. I mean, just look at Daniel Jacobs' last fight, Canelo, Triple G, Chavez, Canelo, the fight you just mentioned. Anytime you got somebody that's just there to survive, it's extremely hard to look good against them.
Yeah, when a professional fighter wants to go on the defensive and he's particularly good at it, then it's kind of hard to take him out. And it's also a little bit, I think, unfair and unjust for fans to say, oh, he should have taken him out. It's hard to take a guy out. It's hard enough to take a guy out. And now when he's on the defensive and running and holding, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully, Rigondeaux doesn't do that in the upcoming Lomachenko fight, but we'll talk about that one later. As far as the light heavyweight division goes, who is Gvozdyk with? He's with Top Rank, right?
Yeah. Okay,
yeah, so Gvozdyk is really, and Bivol, both of those guys are with Top Rank, I believe, right?
Bivol's with Matchroom. Well, he's on a fight. He was with the last fight. I'm not sure he's promoted with. He's with a Russian promoter, Bivol.
Oh, okay. I thought he was with Top Rank. All right, so Top Rank, by the way, who's no longer doing business right now with HBO. So, I mean, what are the chances of seeing Gvozdyk back on that cable giant?
Yeah, that's the issue. I mean, he's going to be on ESPN. This is going to be an issue with Beterbiev as well. If he gets out of his contract with Yvonne Michel, and obviously there's rumours going around that he could be signing with Top Rank, that really puts a dent in a possible Kovalev fight, because Kovalev's with HBO. Beterbiev would be with ESPN and Top Rank, so there's going to be a problem there. And obviously, Bob Aaron's been talking a lot of negative stuff about HBO and Peter Nelson, so hopefully this sort of network battle won't stop us seeing the best fights at light heavyweight.
Now, here's a question to you, both of you. I mean, and we're talking about in a perfect world, should there be no political boundaries and everybody could fight each other? Who do you guys think should deserve a first crack at the Kovalev-Shabranskyy winner?
It's hard to say. I think a lot of the top guys in the division right now I mean, they're great prospects, but you haven't seen a lot of them take on a top-ranked guy. So I would kind of put them all. I'd say any one of them deserves a shot. I mean, I can't say that one's really better than another because you haven't really seen them fully tested yet. But they all look great as far as being prospects, you know.
Cameron, your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't complain with any sort of the guys we mentioned. I mean, light heavyweight is you've got 7 or 8 guys there that are kind of I'd like to see fight each other. I wouldn't, as long as it's not sort of like you said, like a fanfare, you know, somebody who's coming off, you know, maybe like just a couple of solid wins. I'd like to see him fight someone. All these top guys need to fight each other, you know, Kovalev, Stevenson, but anybody who's kind of ranked and who's coming off a good few wins, you know, someone like Sullivan, Barrera, or someone like any sort of person like that will be good enough for me.
Yeah, man. You know what? From a sentimental standpoint, the guy I'd love to see get a title shot before he retires is Sullivan Barrera, who is also going to be fighting tonight, because the guy is already, what, 36 or something like that? Which, by the way, I didn't know he was that old, first of all. I didn't check his age prior to that, to all his fights. Can't believe he's that old. And, I mean, I don't see him having that much time left in the division or in boxing, really. So, you know, the guy's got good skills. He didn't look all that bad against Andre Ward. He looked pretty competitive. So I would love to see him take on a guy like Beterbiev or even Kovalev. By the way, both Kovalev and Barrera are with main events. So what are the chances of that fight happening?
I think wasn't there some talk of that maybe about 6 months ago, right after he lost, I think, against Ward?
Yeah, I don't think that fight will happen. I don't think that fight will happen unless Barrera. I mean, they're talking about maybe Barrera against Bivol. I don't think main events will make that fight unless Barrera's got a world title as well. I don't think they want to kill off 2 birds with 1 stone. If they make that fight now, Barrera's going to be back in the line. I think they want to get Barrera in with Bivol, and if Barrera wins that title, I think they want to unify because then it's a win-win. If you understand me, if they do it now, one of them is going to be at the back of the queue again, if you see what I'm saying. So I think they want to see if Barrera can get a title next year at some point.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. They're hedging their bets. They don't want to kill off one of their own guys. Because really, main events doesn't have that much people.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, sorry.
Are you talking to yourself now or just jumping in? Or?
I didn't hear you, man.
Okay. No, well, yeah, so they're both with main events, so main events is not going to want to waste one. Let's put it that way. They're not going to want to waste one of their guys, especially since they don't have that many fighters in their stable right now. So I guess that's... Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying exactly that.
Well, hopefully somebody ends up fighting somebody. Even a guy like Marcus Brown, I thought looked pretty good in his last fight. So this light heavyweight division might just be the best division out there. Also, I wanted to talk to you about Yuriorkis Gamboa, who is going to be fighting tonight. How do you guys see that fight? He's taking on Jason Sosa, and this is a classic crossroads fight. Both guys are coming off losses. They want a big win on their resume, a big name. How do you guys see that one going?
I think Sosa's going to pull off the win. You know, the one thing I will say, it's good that Gamboa's been active this year, but it's a few years too late. You know, he's been inactive in his kind of prime years. He's getting active now when he's on the slide. I don't think he's got enough to beat Sosa. I think, you know, he'll do well early on, and I just think Sosa will get to him. I think Sosa will stop him, probably mid to late. I just think at this point, Sosa's peaked, and I think he's still at that sort of peak moment. So I think he'll have too much for Gamboa at this point. But like I said, it's a shame that Gamboa's only got active when he's past his prime, because a few years ago, he really could have done with it. You know, say 3-4 years ago, that's when he needed to be really active. I think this will be his 4th fight this year. I mean, he hasn't fought that many times since, I don't know, maybe when he was first starting out. So it's a shame, because I think Gamboa's been used as kind of a sacrifice here to have a name on Sosa's record, and then Sosa will go on to another world title fight. But I do think Sosa will stop Gamboa late.
Well, how significant do you guys think a win over Gamboa will be at this point?
It's still a good win. You know, I mean, it'd be one of Sosa's best wins. I mean, name-wise, it'll probably be his best win. But in terms of like the current version of Gamboa, I'm not sure how much I would say about him because Gamboa's just, you know, he's not looked great for a long time, for years actually. So, you know, it'll be good to see Gamboa actually, you know, make a fight of it. I don't think he'll win. I'd be surprised if Gamboa won this fight, to be honest with you. And I hate saying that because I've liked Gamboa. You know, I thought he was one of the more exciting Cuban fighters that we've seen over the last few years. So just hopefully he can make a good fight and really put it on Sosa and he can make it exciting.
Yeah, man, I remember when Gamboa turned professional and everybody was losing their minds over him. I mean, he looked... A lot of people expected him to be the next Roy Jones, but... as the saying goes, it turns out that he was more Prince Nassim than actual Roy Jones. Pretty good career nonetheless, but I gotta say, one of the biggest wastes of physical talent that I've seen in my years watching boxing, really.
Gamboa?
Yeah, Gamboa, man. I mean, the guy had it all.
Yeah.
Hand speed,
foot
speed.
He did, yeah. That's what I'm saying. He was badly managed for quite a few number of years.
You think that was it? Because, I mean, come on, he's getting dropped in the ring. I mean, what does it have to do with management, you know?
No, but that's what I'm saying. But he was taking these sort of tough fights after not being prepared properly. I'm not saying, you know, he would have done better. I'm not saying he would have, you know, he wouldn't have beat Crawford. You know what I'm saying? The fights he's lost, he would have lost regardless. But his career could have been managed a lot better than it has been. Yeah,
these guys, you know, whenever they get an offer, they have to go with... experienced promotional companies, because a lot of these guys, you know, they don't get the money they want offered by the big promotional companies most of the time, and then some new exciting company like Rock Nation or 50 Cent promotional company comes in and offers them a lot of money. So these guys go, oh, I'm gonna get paid now, but then, you know, long term they don't get the fights, they don't get the money, and they might end up screwing up their career. So maybe that's what happened with Gamboa. But Gamboa was with Top Rank, wasn't he, at some point?
Yeah, quite a while ago, because they were talking about making the Mikey Garcia fight at one point, weren't they? And that never happened.
Yeah, or Juan Manuel Lopez too. They were talking about making that fight.
Yeah.
So I wonder what happened there, man.
Bob Arum was talking about he wanted that fight to marinate, and obviously it never happened because Lopez lost.
Exactly, yeah, that goddamn marinating that all these promoters talk about. That was, you know, the Bob father really knows how to make a fight and promote fighters, but that's one of those instances where I don't know what the hell he was thinking, man.
No, they could still make that fight now, you know.
Oh, come on. Isn't Juan Manuel Lopez going to... Yeah, go ahead.
If Gamboa loses, you know, against Sosa, you can make that fight next year. I'm sure. I know plenty of people, believe it or not, who will still watch that fight, even in 2018.
Yeah, I think you're right, because at least it would deliver. Actually, it was like when Juan Manuel Lopez fought Ponce de Leon the second time. I didn't want to watch that, but it turned out to be pretty entertaining. So, you know, Gamboa has good hand speed and power, and he can be dropped. Same thing with Juan Manuel Lopez. He has power in those fists. So, you know what? You're right. It could be an entertaining fight. Why not? Why the hell not?
Yeah, I'll still watch it. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Shout out to Nicola Ferrari, who just came into the chat room. Hamed92. Remember, guys, if you want to join us, you know the drill. Send us an instant message, and we'll patch you through here. King Butcher wants me to post a photograph that the Haymanite group... Was that?
UK Boxing Live just DM me on Twitter saying he's listening to the podcast.
Oh, sensational. Shout out to UK Boxing. Alright, I'm going to post a little photo here that Butcher wants me to post. Alright, Butcher, what are we looking at here?
Hold on, there's a delay, I guess. Just a picture that the Haymanite's made.
So, we got HBO.
Haymanite's, he's a guy on Twitter, by the way.
Right.
Oh, yeah, he follows me. Yeah, he follows me. I'll follow him.
Is that Charles?
Yeah,
Barkley,
he makes the best memes on Twitter, man.
He's funny. Out of all the guys I follow on Twitter, he's one of the more entertaining ones, I'll be honest.
Did he make a photograph of Al Heyman's bad promotional advice, and then he's got like Danny Garcia hanging from the roof?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw that in the morning. I mean, 2 days ago, I think, or a day ago.
You know who that is in the picture, right?
That's Charles Martin, right?
Yeah. Because there's a picture of him with waving a gun or something. It's a video. It's like, what the hell is this guy doing, man?
What a classy.
Yeah, Charles Martin's lost the plot. Charles Martin has lost the plot.
Yeah, he lost it, man.
Him and Jermaine Taylor, man, are going to be sharing a room down at the local asylum, I think, because waving guns and pointing them at the camera and posting them on the internet, it's going to get him a visit from the FBI, I think.
Well, do you remember when Adrian Broner, he posted a gun up, didn't he? And they called the police went because they thought he was going to kill himself. Do you remember that? On Instagram.
Oh, yeah. He had threatened to kill himself, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, he did.
That guy's messed up, man. I mean, these guys... Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, these guys... They take too many... Some of those guys, I think, have taken too many shots to the head. And I'm not even kidding about that. I mean, I think it's a dangerous sport, man. And some of these guys are mentally unstable already when they start their boxing careers. And then a couple of concussions later, they don't come out all that better after it. Dead Vibes is saying a visit from the mental asylum. And Hassan says Broner is a wannabe gangster. Hey, Hassan, how you doing, man? Shout out to Hassan as well. You guys know the drill. If you want to join us, send us an instant message and we'll patch you through.
More people, the better.
What's that?
More people, the better.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, and get some new people as well. Get some new blood. Okay, so last week I also wanted to talk about this because we didn't get a chance to talk about it last week. We could have talked about it. At that point it was going to happen, the Julian Williams versus Ishii Smith fight. Now the fight has happened, and what do you guys think about Julian Williams?
You know what? I can't remember if I even watched that fight or not.
Yeah, it's hard to find.
It was last Saturday?
Yeah.
No, not Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah, Julian Williams ended up getting a decision, but as always, Ishii Smith, man, not an easy guy to look good against. Julian Williams is a lot like Ishii Smith, except he's a younger version. He's got faster hands. And here's the thing about Julian Williams, man. Everybody was saying he was the next best thing at 154. He was gonna beat one of the Charlos that he faced. I always call him Charlos or the Charlo because I always forget who's Jermel and who's Jermal. Goddamn,
he fought Jamal.
Jermel. Okay, you know what? To the Charlos' parents. Next time you have kids, name them something distinct because I'm always confusing those both guys. All right, so one of those Charlos ended up knocking Julian Williams out with a right uppercut. Just too big for Julian Williams. Now Julian Williams is poised to maybe take over the division should he play his cards right. But unfortunately, there's another giant who shouldn't be fighting at 154, and that is Jarrett Hurd. Hurd looking very strong against Austin Trout. So my question to you guys is this bad luck for Julian Williams that now that one of the Charlos has moved up, he still has another Charlo to contend with, plus Jarrett Hurd?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't like to see Julian Williams just jump straight in with another world champion after beating Ishii Smith. But I'll tell you what, a fight would be good for Williams, and that'll be Austin Trout. Because I know that Trout's lost a few fights, but Trout hasn't been dominated. He didn't get dominated against Hurd. He didn't get dominated by Charlo. He's not been the only fighter that's really beat him convincingly was Lara.
Yeah.
And that, and I think Trout will be a good fight for Williams because Trout's kind of that point where he's not going to beat the world champions now, but he's kind of like that level below maybe the other guys who can kind of beat him to see if they're ready. If Williams beats Trout, then I'd put him in with Hurd. But I wouldn't just throw him in with Hurd now because I'd favour Hurd. Because Hurd's looked, Hurd's got his vulnerabilities as well. He's not difficult to hit, and I think it'll be a good fight. But Julian Williams, I'd like to see him get another a winning top 10 guy before he jumps in with Hurd because I think he's fought Smith and he fought somebody else. I think after he lost to Charlo.
Right.
I'd like to see Williams have another fight.
Yeah, because the thing is this. I'm curious to ask you guys, do you think Julian Williams' chin is good? Is it suspect? Or was it just a case of fighting a very big and powerful Charlo?
Yeah, I think that could have been it. He was huge. Charlo was just massive.
Yeah, Charlo was. I mean, he couldn't make the weight. You know, he was struggling to make the weight, or should I say? And now Charlo, in my opinion, Jamal was the best out of the lot. You know, so there was no shame in losing to him. But obviously he got put over with a jab, didn't he, Williams, by Charlo? So you know, it didn't look great. But no, Charlo's a big puncher. He's a big guy. He's strong. So it's hard to say, I think.
Yeah, I think that uppercut that Charlo landed would have probably knocked out anybody in the division.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I agree, man. That it was a tap and knock shot that not a lot of people are gonna walk away from. Let me tell you. And but Julian Williams, I thought he looked sharp in that fight. He was landing shots on Charlo, and the thing is this though is that despite his sharpness, like I said, he's not the biggest guy out there, and there's still one more Charlo in that division. Now, you know, we're talking about Charlo, we're talking about Jarrett Hurd, we're talking about Julian Williams, Austin Trout, who says he wants to fight. He said he wants to fight an actual junior middleweight, in reference to or kind of insinuating that Jarrett Hurd was no junior middleweight, as we all know. But then again, like you mentioned, Cameron, there's that dark horse, or the guy that nobody really wants to fight, which is Erislandy Lara. I mean, I'm curious, do you guys want to see him finally get beaten up comprehensively, or do you guys think he's got the potential to actually take over the division should he take on some of the top guys?
This is Lara, yeah?
Yeah.
Are we talking about Lara, yeah? Yeah, I mean, no, I've never been, you know, a hate on Lara. You know, I know a lot of people say, you know, he's old and, you know, it's time somebody beat him and, you know, get some new blood in. But I have no problem with Lara. You know, he's not great to watch, but, and you know, he's not like your typical slick Cuban style. You know, Lara's a basic boxer. You know, he's not like, you know, he's not like Rigondeaux. You know, he's pretty basic. You know, he does the fundamentals well. He's not like a really good, you know, move. You know, he doesn't move like a Rigondeaux. You know, he's just your basic boxer. I think Lara, I think he's on his way out. You know, I don't think he's got much longer left. I think, you know, I mean, he fought his last fight. You know, he was undefeated, but he wasn't a great opponent. I think he's going to be fighting Castano next, who's the current interim champion. So until let's be honest, all these guys need to fight each other. Charlo, Lara, Hurd, and who's the WBO champion? Oh, it's Cotto, innit? You know, he's going to retire, so you kind of leave him out of it. But those guys need to fight so we can get a number one at junior middleweight.
Ray, what do you think? Thoughts on Erislandy Lara?
Yeah, you know, I feel like he's kind of fell by the wayside, you know? He hasn't had, like, a big name in a while, but I still think that he deserves to step up, and he should be fighting one of the other guys, like I said, Charlo, Hurd, whatever. I mean, he could, Austin Trout. I mean, he can fight anybody in the division. He's still, you know, those are still the top guys, and I think they should. Any one of them could fight each other, and I'd be definitely watching.
Well, let's take a look at that 154-pound division via Ring TV. So the number 10 guy is Julian Williams, who I think a lot of people would say that he's poised to take over. Maciej Sulecki from Poland, nice, you know, pretty shiny record there, 26-0. Michael Soro, or Michel Soro, who I believe beat Glenn Tapia, didn't he? I think so. But I don't know what he's done since. Austin Trout, who's never been in a bad fight and always steps it up. Liam Smith, who had a good win a couple of weeks ago. Brian Castano from Argentina, I've never seen him fight, so I don't know how good he is. The aforementioned Jarrett Hurd, 21-0 with 15 knockouts, and who he's built like a goddamn light heavyweight, this guy. Miguel Cotto, who's next week is going to be fighting. Is it next week or... No, it's on the 9th, right? 9th of December, his farewell fight? Or is it next week?
I think he's next week, because the Lomachenko's is December 9th.
Yeah, you're right. It's on HBO that night. It's is it Orlando Salido against Miguel Roman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me look here. Yeah, next week is Cotto and Saddam Ali.
Okay, so Miguel Cotto, he's number 3, but he says he's going to retire, so I know that rating is kind of kaput there. Jermel Charlo, who as he displayed a couple of weeks ago, has the same, or seems to have the same type of power that his brother has. And then, of course, the number 1 guy, Erislandy Lara, who has, out of all these guys, I would say he has the best resume. But you know what? I'm gonna say something right now. Looking at these ratings, I want to see Lara versus Jermell Charlo. I know the PBC is probably gonna try to make Charlo versus Jared Hurd, but I want to see what Lara has left, man, because the guy's not getting any younger, and it's about time he took on. I mean, look at Lara's last fights, man. Terrell Gausha, who he didn't deserve to be in there against him. Yuri Foreman, I don't know whose idea it was to put him up against Lara. I mean, this guy hadn't fought since what, 2000? I mean, the last time I had remember seeing Yuri Foreman was in 2010 when he fought Cotto. Vanis Martiriosian, okay, good win. Jan Zavik, nope, I don't. That's not a good win. Delvin Rodriguez, come on, Rodriguez is a good fighter, but
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, Ishii Smith, okay, Ishii Smith is always tough for everybody. And then he lost against Canelo Alvarez. By the way, I'm curious, guys, how did you have the Canelo Alvarez-Lara fight? Because a lot of people forget about that one.
I had Canelo by, I think, 2 rounds, maybe.
Yeah, so did I. Canelo by a couple.
Okay, yeah, because some people...
shots really want him to fight.
It's a type of fight... Yeah, a couple of rounds, I would say. But, I mean, it's a type of fight that some fans say it was a robbery, or that it was a close one for Canelo. I mean, that it was a close one for Canelo, and the Lara fans say that it was a robbery, and then other people say that Lara should have won by a wide margin. I mean, I don't know. He spent too much time running. Lara did.
Yeah, I think so too.
And Nicola Ferrari saying that Martiriosian beat Lara both times in his opinion. Wow. You know what? First fight was a legitimate draw. Second fight, I don't know. I have to rewatch it again, but I'm not in any hurry to rewatch a lot of these Lara fights. By the way, I'm looking for a comment here. Somebody was saying something to you, Cameron, regarding Lara. Oh yeah, he's saying. Wait, who said that? Hold on. Give me a second here. You know, people are saying that they want to see Lara fight somebody. How old is Lara now? He's pretty old. Lara would end up fighting Liam Smith. A Charlo jab didn't floor a faded Trout. Well, you know, listen. Canelo won a close fight, says Nicola Ferrari. Ran too much. I agree. And Jack Alter says that he had Canelo winning. Well, listen. Our boy. Here we go. The people are starting to get into it in the chat room. Hassan says, Jack Alter, shut up. No one cares. But listen, I mean, it's a good fight. This Lara is a good fighter. He has power in that left hand. So what do you want from me, man? I would love to see him fight. All right, guys. Moving on. We're going to have Miguel Cotto then fighting next week. And he says it's his last fight. If I had the time, because I don't know if I can make a video about that, but I'd love to make a Miguel Cotto retrospective. I think HBO is gonna do one, by the way. So I don't know why I would have to do it, but I mean, what do you guys think about Miguel Cotto? You know, he's had a good career, turned pro, I believe, in 2001 or late 2000 after the Olympics in Greece. So what do you guys? I'll start with you, Ray. What did you make of Cotto's career, and do you think it's? I mean, do you think he's pretty satisfied with it?
Yeah, I think he's happy with it. You know, he had a pretty good fight with Floyd. I think he really he came close. I mean, Floyd definitely beat him, but I mean, that was one of Floyd's more entertaining fights, I feel. It's kind of sad what happened to him after the Canelo fight. He just screwed around for a couple of years. You know, he could have made some good fights, but you know, I don't know what the holdup was with him. Not really looking forward to the fight on Saturday or next Saturday. I think what Saddam's moving up from welterweight, right? And he got KO'd by, I think, Jesse Vargas. You know, I think it'll be a pretty easy fight for him, for Cotto.
Yeah. I mean, I asked the question. I said, do you think he's pretty satisfied with his career? Of course he's gonna be satisfied. It's a pretty good you know, career. What do you think about his career, Cameron? I mean, Hall of Fame right there, right?
Yeah, I mean, Cotto's even said that he's satisfied with his career. I mean, that's why he's retiring. You know, he's happy with what he's done. You know, he's been an exciting fighter. I mean, obviously, you know, dad is Martinez, and obviously he was shot. You know, Cotto's going to be a lot of people see Cotto as a guy who lost to the kind of elite Mayweather, lost to Canelo. But he's a Hall of Famer. You know, some people dispute it, but you know, I can't see how you can't have him in the Hall of Fame. You know, he's had some great fights. You know, he beat Mosley, he beat Judah. You know, in his early years, he's had he's a Hall of Famer. You can't deny that. I don't think you can anyway. I'm not looking forward to the last fight against Saddam Ali, but I'll watch it because, you know, it's his last fight. I don't know what to expect from that fight, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, Ali's done nothing. I mean, he made Jesse Vargas look like a puncher, and that kind of says a lot. And Jesse Vargas just lit him up. I don't see him beating Cotto. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what he's got left in this last fight.
Yeah, Ali just can't. I don't think he can deal with pressure.
Well, when he fought Kamagai, he handled the pressure pretty well. But again, Kamagai is not he's not exactly at Cotto's level. What would you guys say is Cotto's best win?
It's got to be Mosley.
Yeah, Mosley was going back from that win against Margarito, so.
Yeah, it's got to be Mosley.
So not Sergio Martinez then?
No, because he was crippled.
He was crippled, yeah.
That's what I was expecting. Yeah, yeah. At the time, I was surprised when he beat Martinez, but.
Could you imagine? I mean, you know, Golovkin was calling out Martinez before he fought Cotto. Could you imagine what Golovkin would have done to that version of Martinez? Yeah, if Cotto's putting him down 3 times in the first round, that would have been.
Okay, but which Cotto win was the most valuable?
In terms of what you mean, like
a championship fight.
Oh yeah, it's got to be Martinez.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
You know, in terms of his actual, you know, sort of kind of the version of the fighter at the time, it's Mosley by a clear mile. But Martinez was a champion. You know what I mean? Cotto moved up 2 weights. He moved up. He moved up from junior middleweight to fight Martinez, you know, to win that 4th title. So Martinez is, you know, his most recognisable win in terms of championship level, I'd say.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm just asking because, I mean, let's be honest, that's his biggest win when it comes to I mean, he won that against a lineal middleweight champion. When he fought Mosley, I don't even know if there was a belt on the line.
Yeah, there was the WBA welterweight, wasn't it?
Okay, WBA. And then when he fought Margarito, was there anything at play? Oh yeah, the WBA, no? And he won against.
No, that was he fought. I can't remember because he fought Mayweather after beating Margarito, didn't he? So, and I think he lost the. I can't remember now. I can't remember the order.
Yuri Foreman, didn't he fight for a belt against Yuri Foreman?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. I can't remember. I mean, yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
He fought Mayweather for the junior middleweight WBA title. I'm not sure. He beat Mosley, but I'm not sure if that was for the WBA title or not. I don't think it was.
All right. Okay. I know we're talking about this. It's an interesting subject, but Hamed told me. By the way, Hamed, welcome to the chat. How are you, man?
Yes, I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. Because you wanted to ask. You only have limited time, and you wanted to ask Cameron some questions. Is that right?
Yeah, I just wanted to. I've been following Cameron's work, and I just wanted to ask us a couple of questions. Cameron, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I just wanted to ask you about boxing. Like, are you a journalist, or like, do you do it as a full-time job, or are you doing it as a part-time?
Yeah, just on the side.
Okay, so are you invited like to media credentials and that? Like,
Yeah.
So you could apply to credentials.
I could do that. Yeah.
Okay, who do you write for? What website?
I write for WBC and I write for Fight News.
Okay, so what would you give someone who wants to become a writer or like wants to start up in that job?
What do you mean, starting out from the bottom? Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I'd say is, because a few people message me, actually inbox me on Twitter and stuff about this sort of thing. And what I'd say is, the best thing you can do is get your name out there by writing. There's enough publications out there that have got big followings who will accept writers. Boxing Insider, even Fight News will do it. You can write for them for free, and it will get your name out there. The best thing you can do is get to the biggest outlet possible.
Yeah.
A lot of them will listen to you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them may not reply, but a lot of them will listen and see your work and kind of up to standard, and they'll take you on. The more articles you get out on the bigger publications, the better, because it'll get your name out there. And if you can get interviews, because fighters are very accessible in boxing, it doesn't take much to interview them. A lot of them will do it if you approach them the right way. If you do that, they'll share your work out. It'll just get your name out there. The more consistency you do, and if you just enjoy it and you keep the consistency up, you'll get picked up, because that's what happened to me. I've done it just as a hobby before a few years ago, and I just kept going and going, and then WBC picked me up and a few other sites picked me up, and I've got to where I am now. So the best thing you can do is just keep working, keep consistency going, and enjoy it, really. And whatever comes after that, don't go into it with your eyes, okay, I want to be a full-time journalist in boxing, because it may not come.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do it like that. Like, I understand what you're saying. I just wanted to do it for, like, just to cover the sport, or just the thing, just to write about it. But it's not something I'd want to, like, I don't think, is it true that it'd be hard to make a living out of it? Like,
it's hard, yeah. It's hard to make a living off it. Unless you're waiting for someone like, unless you're someone like Dan Raphael, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. For ESPN. Unless you're waiting for someone like that, it's tough, you know what I mean? It's really tough out there. But if you just want to do it for the enjoyment, go with it. You know what I mean? There's fighters that you can get access to fighters easily. You know what I mean? I've always said if anybody wants to do it and they come to me, I will help them out. You know what I'm saying? If anybody out there who I'll I'll help them get interviews. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the main thing I wanted to do was because boxing fights over here are quite expensive to, like, if I want to go to a soccer or football match, like, the prices are not too expensive to sit by the pitch. Or for boxing, it's very expensive to watch fights from ringside or lower down. And I think that was one of the reasons I thought I'd try and get into it. But another thing is just because I'm always looking at boxing news and what's going on and just staying up to date. I just thought it'd be a good way to try and keep other people and myself updated, or just cover it by, just constantly just talking about it.
Are you on Twitter? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll message you. I got your thing.
What's your Twitter?
I'll message you after, I think, once.
Yeah, am I following you? Yeah.
I think I know your thing on there.
Yeah,
no, I don't think you're following. No, I don't think you're following me.
All right, well, tweet me. I'll follow you, and then we'll talk in DM about it more if you want.
All right, that's okay.
By the way, Hamed.
No problem.
Yeah, go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah. If you just send me a DM, and I'll help you out if you want.
Okay, yeah, I've spoken to a couple of people. I thought I'd try and speak to, because this is probably the first time I've spoken to someone who does it, like, professionally. I tried asking a couple of people who do it professionally, but they didn't reply. So I had a couple of websites that didn't reply, but I didn't really get into it. Like, they just replied, just write something down and just send it to us. But I didn't really get to it. But I just wanted to. I thought I'd try and speak to someone before I actually, like, write it up or actually go into detail about it. But I appreciate that.
No, if you want, I can put you forward to some sites as well, and
okay,
if you want. So just hit me up on Twitter and we'll talk about it more.
All right, that's okay. All right, thanks.
Now here's my question. When you're interviewing fighters, you have to. You can't be abrasive and you can't ask really hard questions, because sometimes, depending on the level of fame of the fighter, he'll have a good publicist or a pretty stingy one, and they'll bar you from asking questions or even from events. How do you balance that line between asking the hard, tough questions and just kissing ass?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of difficult because how I do it is I kind of ask the question that people want to know, but there's a way of in my opinion, there's a way of wording hard questions about it coming across as you badmouth of them or putting them in a dark light, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And it's all about trust, you know what I mean? If the fighter trusts you, you can't. It's how you approach it. You interview them kind of with different questions first, and then you kind of get into the tough questions. If they trust you and they kind of know you're, reliable, you're not doing it out of agenda, I think a lot of them will answer the tough questions. But it's all about how you word the question, in my opinion.
Yeah, man, it must be hard trying to maintain integrity, journalistic integrity, but at the same time watching out for these guys. I mean, I know Dana White is pretty renowned for barring people or banning people from the events if he doesn't like a question. But you know what? There's some instigators out there. I mean, let's face it, Cameron. What do you think about a guy like, for example, Elie Selbach, who seems to pick sides depending on which guy he's talking to at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, Setback's a funny character, to be honest with you. I mean, I used to follow his channel, quite a lot, but he's got his relationships. He's kind of close with. If you follow him, he's close with Robert Garcia. He's close with Mike. He's close with certain fighters.
Right.
And he'll support certain fighters, which is okay. But he comes across as. I can see why people say he comes across as somebody who is sucking up to him. But I mean, he does videos. I mean, he's not. I don't know how to put it, because he does earn off it.
Right.
He's built himself up, but I wouldn't class him as a professional journalist because he doesn't go about his work in a professional way. If you know what I'm saying? And that's not me, criticizing him. He can do it his own way, and obviously he's making money, and he's got a successful channel. But I don't think he goes about it the right way, in my opinion.
Well, it's a new type of journalism, like you said, because how do you categorize him? He makes videos, he asks questions, but he's not necessarily impartial. So it's a new breed of YouTube journalism, So, I mean, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think he classes himself as a journalist. You know what I'm saying? I think he just classes himself as kind of an outlet. I don't think he classes himself as a professional boxing journalist. You know what I mean? I've never heard him say that anyway. So.
All right, man. Now, I'm just gonna introduce real quick. Low Place is on the line. Low Place, how are you, man? I believe Low Place is there.
Yeah, I was muted, man. I'm here. Appreciate the link.
Always, man, always.
I like the question that you ask him. How do you sit in that fine line, or how do you avoid that fine line, and ask the real questions that you want to ask? Because I know some people that I would call colleagues, I guess you could say, in a way. But I would say about them, I think they got something up their ass and they puppets more than box. Yeah, they don't want to deal with what really is fact and what's really right for the sport. And I haven't found that journalist yet. I'm sort of giving up on it for boxing journalists, because we don't have somebody like ESPN that can push them. You kick them out your locker room, guess what you done? You took a lot of media away from you. We really don't have that person. Dan Rayfield doesn't fly out to some fights, and they still do good views. So until boxing is more popular, I don't know. I think everybody's towing that line, to be honest with you.
Cameron, thoughts on that?
Yeah, I can see what he's saying, to be honest with you. I mean, Dan Rafael was probably the most, in terms of following on Twitter and and who he works for, he's the most recognisable journalist out there. But he's not the best out there. You know what I'm saying? Not by a long stretch. I think a lot of unpaid writers are better than actual, the likes of Dan Rafael. You know what I'm saying? So I do agree with what Low Place is saying, to be honest. I think a lot of them are just kind of going with what they can. In terms of, they're working for ESPN, they're working for, who else you got covering the sport? It's kind of big. Magazine, you got Dougie Fisher, fan of Mike Coppinger.
What's the name of that guy that covers UFC, MMA, and boxing at the same time?
I'm not a fan of Dougie Fisher. I'll be honest about him.
Lance Pugmire. He works for the Los Angeles Times. I think that's what you're on about.
No, there was another guy. Sorry. There was another guy. He was bald.
Kevin
He's talking about Coppinger. That's who he's. I like Ioli. I like the Lance Pugmire guy, and I like Coppinger as well. I don't trust the that guy with the ponytail that you just mentioned.
Oh, Dougie Fisher.
Coppinger's
Dougie Fisher.
Coppinger's terrible, I think.
What about that Kevin Idol guy? Is he okay?
Yeah, Kevin Ioli. He's the one.
No, Kevin Idol, the baldy guy who's kind of big.
Yeah, I know which one about. Yeah, I don't think he writes for boxing anymore.
He seems like he does a good job though. I follow him on Twitter, but I don't know if he's.
Who is he say? Who'd you say again?
Kevin Idol or Idol? Yeah, that's the.
Keith Idol. It's Keith Idol.
Is it Keith? Yeah, it's Keith.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I go.
Yeah, he was pretty. Everybody except for the people at the Ring TV. Like I've questioned Idic, I questioned Iol, I questioned Coppin. All of those guys we named, I questioned them. And,
what about
they was A-okay? They were A-okay with responding. But the guys I just named, the Fishers, what's the big guy for ESPN? Rayfield, right. The Asian guy. No. You questioned them one time, and they know they wrote it wrong. You questioned them one time, they said, "Get out of here! If I've been paid, you ain't gonna change it."
No place.
What about Montero?
Hold on. One at a time.
Yeah,
one at a time.
Steve Kim, yeah.
All right.
That's what we're talking about. Kim.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Steve Kim either.
Yeah, Steve Kim will ban people from Twitter right away.
What about the other one?
Sorry, go ahead, Hamid.
What about Montero?
Ain't he just a YouTuber? He's just a YouTuber, ain't he?
Yeah. Montero's just a YouTuber, I think.
Well, I wanted to ask you guys, I don't know if you've seen videos where when Mayweather used to fight, he had a publicist named, what was her name?
Shelley Finkel. No, Shelley Finkel. I know who you're talking about.
He was a woman.
That's a man.
She was with Bernard Hopkins too. Was that?
The one with the glasses? I forgot the name.
Yeah, a blonde woman with glasses, and she was with Hopkins as well, and she would scream at people and really talk to them like they were
Swanson. Was it something Swanson?
Yes. Katie Swanson?
Kelly Swanson.
Kelly Swanson, there you go.
Kelly Swanson.
And she would make, she would talk to reporters like they were school children. I mean, that's got to be pretty bad for a reporter, knowing that if she doesn't like the question, you're never going to ask another question again because she's just going to ban you from the event.
Well, that's what a lot of journalists are scared about. Like, if you think the thing, a lot of journalists are scared to report certain things because they're scared of losing access and interviews and stuff like that. That's not how you do it. If you're a journalist, you report what it is regardless. You're not doing your job if you don't report the news. If you're being told that you can't report this, you can't report that, or you're not getting interviewed, I don't see how you're doing your job right. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, but that woman, she also knows. I know her name, and I can't pull it out. And I've seen her say this. She knows people who cover it one way for one side, and then another way and those are the people. From what I've heard and seen, she's saying, if you come in here and we know who you are, we can get a grasp on you and you covering it fair, ask your questions. But if you're coming in here to do a screw job and then on your knees for the other company, you're not going to come in here. And that's how they play it. That's a publicist's job to know what's going on with the public. So, with the people so she's doing her job. And that's what's wrong with boxing. Too many people, and like I said, even the colleagues that I know, when I'm on different shows and I'm spitting whatever I'm saying, and I know that I feel it's real, I know that, hey, this ain't the way boxing should be going, they stop you and say, well, it's not a well to it. That paycheck means something though, and that's why I would never pick up a pen for these guys if I want to get paid, yeah, but if I want to tell the truth about something, I do it on my own YouTube channel.
Well, can I say something? What about someone like Gabriel Montoya, or someone like that? Like, I'm not sure if they write in articles, but like people like that who are around boxing, and I think Montero, who do a job like, do you want people like that who are being strict on PED testing and trying to, enforce stuff like that, testing on other boxers and that? Because a lot of these journalists don't really mention stuff like PED testing or drug use or anything like that.
I don't know about Montoya.
No, a lot of them don't. A lot of them don't. But a lot of them were.
That's what I'm trying to say.
No, that's because a lot of them aren't really. A lot of journalists will write about stuff that sells and what get people writing. I mean, if you spend a lot of time writing about PD testing and write a good article, you're only going to get limited people writing, kind of reading it. I think that's why a lot of people don't write about topics that really should be covered in boxing. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just that just falls into that category, in my opinion.
I mean, I wanted to ask you, low plays. Well, first of all, let's get everybody's plugs in here. Cameron, what's your Twitter and where people can contact you and check out your work again?
Yeah, catch me at Twitter at @CameronGillon_.
Okay, we're gonna be putting that in the description as well. Low plays, what's your YouTube channel again?
Low plays #MLPF, and I'm on Twitter at @MyLowPlays, all one word.
And by the way, I was listening to your podcast. I believe it was on Thursday or Wednesday. I had some time off, and I was actually listening. You were debating about 3 or 4 guys at the same time. I'm thinking, God damn, it's like a samurai movie. You were going up against everybody. It's like, and it was about Terence Crawford against. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on.
That's a great song.
Yeah, well, every time somebody subscribes.
That was playing in work yesterday, so I was laughing. That came to my mind.
That's self-promoting BDA right there. Every time you hear the song, you're gonna think about BDA. But yeah, low plays. What was the whole debate about again? Because I had to switch off after 15 minutes, but it was about Terence Crawford's resume over Keith Thurman's, right?
Just a bit of everything, just I think Crawford, they were debating Crawford, and I don't know. We were just basically telling. I felt that Crawford wasn't pound for pound number 1, and I was just debating that he's on the list, and I actually feel like being number 4 on the list is a huge fucking accomplishment. People have made that an issue. My guy's number 4. How in the hell is that happening? I'm like, dude, it's millions. I won't say millions, hundreds of thousands of fighters out here, and your dude is 4th. Get over it, bro. Like. Okay, I don't get it, and I'm willing to debate it and talk about it. It kind of had stemmed from one guy was debating me about Adonis Stevenson. He said, does he need to chase undisputed or with other opponents? And I just said, I think Badou Jack's a better fight and more, in my opinion, Badou Jack's ring and lineal champion at 168. And nobody else at 175 has came close to doing that in the division. So I tried to tell him, being undisputed, I mean, that means you got to beat guys like Lipinets. That means you got to beat who was a champion down there, Kroller. Like, come on, man. Like, stop it. I mean, it's a good thing, but if there's other opponents, get those opponents and whatever. And and they just stemmed over, and he just kept going, and we kept debating. It was fun work, though. It was fun work.
Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see Stevenson fight Jack, because if Stevenson beats Jack, I think a lot of people who have kind of turned on Stevenson will then give Stevenson credit again. That's why I want to see him fight Jack.
I don't think they will. I think they'll find a way. They found a way already.
No, come on. If he beats Badou Jack, everyone's gonna give him credit.
They found a way already. Let me tell you how they found a way. They found a way already. They factually knew that a man. I mean, this is beyond fact. Fact that Kathy Duva said, we want this purse bid and we're leaving it, and they still found a way to poop on that man. So I mean, I just have reason to believe that already there's going to be an issue.
Can I ask a question to the low please? I was just wondering, who did you have pound for pound number 1 when Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao were fighting? I don't think Adonis Stevenson was fighting that time. So who did you have that time? In 20?
Floyd and Manny been 1 and 2 on the list.
Who did you have number 1?
I had Floyd 1. Floyd at 1.
So after Pacquiao beat Cotto and Mayweather was 18 months out and beat Marquez, and I think it was Mosley. I think Pacquiao beat what's his name? Cotto and I think it's Clottey. Who did you have then?
Hold on, Clottey.
It was Clottey then Margarito.
Yeah, he's right about that.
But Mayweather disappeared after the Mosley fight.
He retired. He retired after the Oscar De La Hoya fight, then the Hatton fight, and some with the Marquez fight as well, right? What was the time frames on that?
No. Mosley. Marquez was 2009 September. Then he fought
he
Mosley
came back for
May
Marquez.
May 2010. Mosley got hurt in the second round. I think he won every round after that.
Yeah, he did.
But who did you have won?
I remember being this my argument for keeping him one. The way he handled Marquez when he came back compared to how Manny Pacquiao has always struggled with him, and then that kind of fit him into that to me, because he just literally played with Marquez.
Yeah.
And it wasn't aggressive or anything, but he did drop him in the fight. It wasn't a horrible fight to watch. It was just him showing, I can sit out and still be amazing and do better than the person that y'all putting me up against.
Oh no, I don't.
For him again.
I don't think that was a bad fight. I think that was one of his most exciting one-sided fights. Like, I thought he put on a show, but I don't know. I wouldn't say.
But Marquez was pound for pound number what at that time? 2 or 3?
3.
2 or 3, yeah.
3. I don't know. I wouldn't put him 1 at that time because I thought he was too inactive. Like, he took 18 or 21 months off. And whilst that time Pacquiao had beaten De La Hoya, Hatton, and Cotto, even though I think
you're right.
Even though Mayweather beat De La Hoya and Hatton first, but I thought the way Pacquiao beat him was like he put a stamp on being pound for pound one. Yeah, I was just wondering because right now
you could be right though. You could be right. I mean, he did get back active. Mosley was that following year, and Mosley was the number 2 I think 2 or 3 welterweight.
Yeah,
so so that, I mean, if you didn't do it from the Marquez fight and then you came back from the Mosley fight and he beat him 120 to 119, you have to say, because he did lose that round.
The thing is that there's no right or wrong in my opinion. At that time, I wouldn't be against somebody having Pacquiao. I wouldn't be against somebody having Mayweather, because you
can that's true.
In either one of their resumes at the time, and you just got to go with it. I wouldn't be against you having Pacquiao. I wouldn't be against Lopez having Mayweather. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was just wondering because I think right now I don't think anyone's got Stevenson 1, but I was just wondering who he had at that time because at that time I think when 99% of the people probably had Mayweather or Pacquiao 1.
Oh, everybody did, yeah.
Yeah.
So we were talking then about the light heavyweights, and of course tonight Kovalev is coming back. Hamed, I had to drop off for a minute, but did you mention, because I forgot to ask you, what do you think about Kovalev's fight tonight?
Yeah, you didn't ask. I think it's a decent fight. I would have preferred to have seen Sullivan Barrera and Kovalev fight, but I think it's a decent matchup. I think Shabranskyy is a puncher, so if Kovalev is mentally, if he hasn't recovered, then this could be a dangerous fight, but I think that's a big if. I think Kovalev should win. I don't know, some people are saying inside 3 or 4. I think it may take about 7 or 8 rounds, but I think he should get the KO as well. I think Shabransky's style is made for him, but I think it's a decent matchup for his first fight back. Maybe it's not a proper, I think he's been sanctioned for one of the title bouts, WBO title. Some people will probably say it shouldn't be, but I think since Ward retired, all the belts are up for grabs. But I think someone made a good point. I think it's on Victor SplitD's podcast. Gvozdyk should have got the title shot. I agree. I think Gvozdyk, I don't know why he didn't get not one of the title shots out of the 3 belts.
The reason I can tell you the reason he didn't get the WBO was because him and Kovalev are with the same manager. They're not going to put Gvozdyk in with Kovalev, the vacant title there. That's why Gvozdyk's gone for the WBC and Kovalev's gone for the WBO. Because otherwise, if they make that fight now, they're going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, effectively.
Yeah, that's true. So he's
willing. So you got the information from I know his name, the
Aegis Klimas.
Aegis Klimas, yes, you got the information from him that they're willing to go to Canada to win a WBC belt.
That's what they want. They want Stevenson. obviously they have to wait. I mean, obviously,
but I thought Badu Jack and LD Alvarez are the 1 and 2 for that belt.
I just like what they're doing. I didn't believe it. I like what he's doing. I have no problem with them doing it the right way. He's chasing lineage. Kovalev can fight for a shitty belt all he wants. Fuck that belt. Chase lineage.
So who's the mandatory? Is it Alvarez? Not Badu Jack is not the mandatory challenger then.
Alvarez has been mandatory for about 18 months now.
Yeah, Alvarez is a pathetic piece of shit as a mandatory though. He just I'm just gonna tell the truth. He just uses it to leverage his negotiating stances and see where he can get money for this. If he's not that guy that wants to be a champion. That's fucking obvious. If he was, the fight would have happened. He'd be in a courtroom or whatever the situation may be. It's just the truth, man. When you got your shot, you gotta be Earl Spence. Like I said, you gotta be Luke Campbell. You gotta be those guys. When it says mandatory and it has your name behind it, you put your gloves on and you go fight until you can't no more. And he's not doing that. I gotta tell the truth.
But I don't understand the mandatory situation. They should be enforcing the mandatories. I mean, I think when Mayweather was the champion, when he fought Medana, and I think it was Medana twice, I think Amir Khan and Keith Thurman were mandatory challenges for the WBC and WBA for over a year. None of these sanctioning bodies, including the WBC, I don't think they enforce the mandatories, apart from, I think, the IBF. I don't really like some of the stuff the IBF have done, where I think Kevin Beasley and Jojo Dan were number 1 mandatory challengers, which was a bit bizarre. I think we're much better fighters, should be higher up in the rankings, but they enforced the mandatories. Other 3, even the WBO, I don't think they enforced the mandatories as much.
But let me ask you.
The WBC enforced Alvarez chose to step aside. That's why that fight's not happened yet. Alvarez chose to step aside. Stevenson wanted to fight. He was willing to fight Alvarez. Alvarez decided to step aside, and that's why he fought from Barrera.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me ask you, when you blame the sanctioning bodies, understand there's no need to do that. These fighters have managers, legal teams. They have these things on hold for them. When you see the writing on the wall, their rules is the writing on the wall, and they're not following them, and they have you ranked and they're hindering your career. When they have hindered your profits, then you can show damages right then and there. You can say your rules were not followed, and you have damaged my career. Guess where I'm going? To court. And you sue their asses for not just 1, not 2, not several million. You let them know, play ball, give me what I want right now. They say either we drop the suit right now, we give you what you want. If you're not doing that, I'm done fighting for you. Because the thing is, we can't beat these sanctioning bodies. It just ain't gonna happen. But hey,
okay, that's a good
we can't keep begging for the fighters. It's not begging for themselves.
Yeah, that's true. The managers, promoters have something. I think there's a good point in the chat. And I didn't get to say my say on it. When Mayweather beat Marquez, I think people are saying that Golovkin, when he beat Brock or Canelo beat Khan, it wasn't much difference. It's probably worse because Marquez, I think, had 1 fight at lightweight against Julio or Juan Diaz. I think, Juan Diaz.
Yeah, 2
fights.
Went
9 rounds. And and he...
One difference. I'll say 1 difference.
But he had 1 fight. Mayweather made him move up to 144, and he didn't make the weigh-in, the catch weight. And then he came in at 146. So when at that time, I was a big Mayweather fan. I was actually... People were criticizing him, and I was defending him. But after when the dust settled and I got more into boxing, I agreed that I think that was a bit of a... It was a mismatch, and the weight was a big thing because Marquez wasn't effective at that weight. I think if they fought at maybe light welterweight or 144, like the agreed weight, then maybe you could say Mayweather came down. But it was all in Mayweather's advantage, the whole weight.
I'll say one thing on it, and it's like I said earlier, that same Marquez, that was the one chasing Pacquiao at 47, and Pacquiao didn't want to give him that fight. That was the same one that had gave Pacquiao hell on top of hell on top of hell. So
but that was a different weight class.
Yeah. But listen to what I said. He was telling Pacquiao, you want to go to 147 to avoid me and fight De La Hoya and fight all of this. The fight the people want is me and you part 2. We number 2, we number 3. The rest of the guys wasn't pound for pound ranked, except for like Cotto, and he had gotten beaten with the bricks, and he was no longer pound for pound ranked. So what I'm saying is this was a guy that was still chasing the Pacquiao that had been attached to Mayweather's hip, like big brother and little brother. That's the only difference. Like with Cotto, I mean, not just Cotto, but Khan and Brook, they hadn't done anything to anybody at middleweight or at 154.
Yeah, but neither did Marquez. Marquez didn't really do. Marquez.
No.
Then
check what I'm saying. Check what I'm saying.
A blown
Pacquiao,
up.
Check what I'm
but
saying.
That was
Pacquiao,
a blown up. That was a blown up.
Listen to what I'm saying though. Listen to what I'm saying though. That same one wanted Pacquiao at 147, and Manny Pacquiao wouldn't take the fight. They wouldn't do it.
But that's just the politics. That fight was a super featherweight to featherweight. At 126.
I mean, I can say it's the politics, but I mean, if you're making Manny was getting those big paydays
it doesn't matter what Pacquiao said or did. It doesn't matter. It's what matters what Mayweather did. I don't care about fucking Pacquiao. He was avoiding Marquez. I don't care. I don't care who was avoiding Marquez. Point is, he was fighting he was out of sharing. He was like flabby and shit. He was water. You could see he was his weight, so I don't give any credit to Mayweather for fighting Marquez.
Yeah, no need to give credit. No need to give credit. But
okay, so then just say it. Don't talk about like, oh, he did better than Pacquiao because he wasn't avoiding him.
There's no need to give credit. There's no need to give credit. What I'm saying is, he took the win. His career is credible. If you take Marquez even off there, his career is still fucking legit. So there's no need to say credit. I mean, but he did beat the pound for pound number 3 guy that called him out of retirement. Marquez wanted him. Marquez said, "I'll come up in the weight and I'll."
That doesn't matter either. It doesn't matter. Called out Golovkin. Let's say.
Hold on. But you do have to link these guys together. We know they were linked. You just can't act like nothing happened with him and Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao was refusing to fight him at 47, at 40, at any weight. Manny Pacquiao and Barrera said, we have other plans.
They had already fought twice, though. So how could you say
but it wasn't Canelo. Okay, Canelo and Golovkin have already fought once. But due to it being something people want to see more, they have to fight again or somebody's going to be upset. That's not a good enough point. But you gotta win the fight convincingly.
They did end up fighting 4 times, so I don't know where this is going. But what I was trying to say, what I was trying to say was, I done the same with Pacquiao De La Hoya. I think Pacquiao should get more credit for his fight with De La Hoya than Mayweather does with Marquez. Even though I think both fights, one was I think weight trained. I think De La Hoya was very weight trained. His legs were like really thick.
I don't know because Marquez kept on fighting after the Mayweather loss.
De La Hoya was taking blood.
But before the fight, you got to look at who. I'm sure De La Hoya was the favorite, so as well. So, I think Mayweather's win over De La Hoya was better than Pacquiao's win over De La Hoya. I think many people would agree, but I'd still give Pacquiao more credit than his fight with De La Hoya than Mayweather did with Marquez.
Let me say something.
Pacquiao's moved up to 1 or 2 weight classes. Mayweather moved up the smaller guy.
Let me say something about hindsight, because this is something that happens regularly when we're talking about boxing, is that coming into a fight, for example, will give one guy will be the favorite and the other guy obviously the underdog. And afterwards, opinions change. For example, when Jeff Lacy fought Calzaghe, I remember most of the writers were saying, oh, Lacy's going to run over Calzaghe. Calzaghe hasn't looked good. He's always injured. He's got bad hands. He slaps. Jeff Lacy's the next Mike Tyson, the next super middleweight Mike Tyson. And afterwards, after Calzaghe slapped the shit out of him, all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, well, that Jeff Lacy win doesn't count. I mean, my question to you guys is, and I'm going to start with Cameron, like, how do you see hindsight involved in boxing, and how do you try to balance that line between giving a great credit but and withholding some of the credit when the guy who got beat clearly wasn't that as good as we thought?
Yeah, it's a good question. I've always enjoyed this question. I'll use an example. When Froch beat Butte, and Butte was, he was touted as God of war, didn't want to fight. He was the #1 ranked super middleweight. Froch goes in there and destroys him, and all of a sudden people say, he's never any good. I think at the time of the fight, a guy that was going to destroy Calzaghe. Bute was going to outclass Froch. I think you've got to give those guys credit for beating those fighters at the time because of what people perceived them as and how they were undefeated, they were champions. I mean, I think you've got to give them credit because of who they were perceived at the time, rather than hindsight. I mean, hindsight's good. I mean, you can talk about so many fighters who have had wins and against fighters who at the time were touted to be dangerous opponents, and then later on they've gone and got destroyed and they were never any good. Calzaghe credit for beating Lacey. I think you will give Froch credit for beating Bute as an example, because of how much of that Froch was a heavy underdog, and Lacey was supposed to destroy Calzaghe. So I think you've got to give them credit because they were the ones who basically ended the hype train, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I wanted to build off of what you said, which is like, for example, I was talking with Butcher earlier when we started the show, and we were talking about Gamboa and about how much credit we should give Terence Crawford for having knocked out Gamboa, and Butcher was saying, well, Gamboa isn't all that good. And I said, yeah, in hindsight, he's chinny and he doesn't train all that. I mean, it doesn't seem like he trains all that well, or he's not that smart. But coming into the Crawford fight, the guy was undefeated and he had some pretty good wins on his resume. So, you gotta at least give the guy who beat him credit on how he beat him and showing that he's a superior fighter. For example,
he troubled Crawford as well, Gambo. He had a lot of good success in that fight. Yeah,
early on, he definitely did. So he did show that he wasn't a nobody. I mean, he showed that he had some skills and that he could have, he deserved to be in that ring with Crawford, but then just Crawford took it to another level and took over. So
he was too big as well.
Can I make a point? This is a really good question, I think.
Go ahead, Ahmed.
So with Bute, I'd say that was a really good win for Froch in the way he beat him, because I think he took him out in 5 rounds. But before that, I remember I rewatched Andrade. Was it I forgot his first name, the other Andrade.
I think Librado Andrade.
He fought Bute, and he kind of he exposed Bute. I think he lost 10 or 11 rounds and he knocked him out in the 12th, but the referee wouldn't count him out, or he done something. Yeah, he very controversial fight, and Andrade ended up getting carried to the final bell. So I think Bute was a bit of a deer in the head like that. I don't think he was as good as some people thought before that fight, but at the same time, I gotta give Froch credit because he took the fight, and Ward, I don't know why Ward did not take that fight, because I think that was a big opportunity missed for Ward. If he won that fight, he could have been the undisputed super middleweight champion. So that, I think, is a bit of both. There's a bit of Bute wasn't as good as, say, Kessler. No way, I don't think he's in the same league as a Kessler or Froch, and Froch exposed him in that sense. But at the same time, the way Froch beat him, you gotta give him credit, like, to do that in 5 rounds, and it was a really one-sided fight, and I think he was a big underdog before the fight. On the other point with Lacey, I think he was unproven, but at the same time he was a big underdog. But another thing you gotta look at, after Lacey, like the guys that Calzaghe fought, he showed Lacey made Calzaghe look really good as well. So I don't think Lacey was as good as people were making it out, because he said he was the next coming of Tyson and stuff like that. But like the fight with Kessler and Calzaghe, or even Hopkins and Calzaghe, like they showed that, Calzaghe wasn't as good as that fight. In that fight, I think Calzaghe, it was his best performance and probably his best night, but I don't think Lacey was as good as some people thought, and I think Calzaghe even had one hand injured, so it's a bit of back and forth. I'm not too sure how much credit the boxer deserves, but if they're a big underdog, then you gotta give them credit. Obviously, you can't afterwards say they were a hype job or that. Like Calzaghe deserves credit; he done what he had to do, and same as Froch. But at the same time, I don't think Lacey was the best guy that Calzaghe fought. I thought the Kessler win was probably his best win, or maybe the Hopkins one.
BDA, I've got to shoot off.
All right, Cameron, thanks for having joined us, man. It was good talking with you again. Good show.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. And Hamed, hit me up on Twitter, and we'll sort that out.
All right.
Take it easy, guys. I'll speak to you soon.
All right, thank you, man. And we'll put up Cameron's links and Twitter in the video description, so you can check out his work. And Lopez, are you still there, man?
Yeah, man.
Okay, because I see you going back and forth in the chat room. I want to get your opinion as well on that question about hindsight. Like, how do you juggle hindsight, and how do you distribute credit after a fight?
I personally don't try to read in the articles. I look and tell what a fighter is when they're going into it. Case in point, Jeff Horn. Everybody told me Jeff Horn ain't shit. He's a school teacher, and I said, you know what? He teach him in class he won't. This is the first real welterweight that Manny Pacquiao's fought in a long time, that never been at a lower weight class, that isn't going to have some rehydration clause. He's about to struggle. And not just because of the real welterweight, because of the style of the fighter. And their articles didn't work for me. Their articles would have led me in the wrong way. So I don't do that. What Low Place has to say before the fight and after the fight is how I do it. I mean, it may seem selfish and individualistic, but hey, I'm an individual, so I'll take that. I'm a self, so I can be selfish. I'll take that. And it's just boxing, so I can be individualistic and selfish. So selfish. So what I say, I'm going to stick with. Like I said with Crawford, Crawford Gamboa going into the fight. I was a Gamboa fan, but I was also a realist. My guy's been off a year. I think longer. My guy's getting knocked down at 130, 135 by lesser fighters. You know, he's dead meat. You know, it just is what it is. But the funny thing is, Crawford struggled some in that fight, so it just is what it is.
So okay, so that's my question. Like just taking that example, how much credit, for example, do you give Crawford for having beaten Gamboa?
I think him and Post Stall are the best wins on the resume, but I don't think they're I don't think Gamboa gets you. It gets you something, but I don't know how to rank it, where to rank it. It's not something you can live off of, and he hasn't tried to his credit. But it's just, to me, it's just that win that's the best so far, and there needs to be more that's done. I mean, you can only fight what's in the division, so likely if you're talking about pound for pound credit, people in the better divisions gonna have better rankings than you potentially.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. By the way, we got SplitD on the line. Split, how are you, man?
Good, man. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic. It's been a while, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, man, I wanted to ask you, because we're talking about, a whole bunch of things, but particularly right now at this point, we're talking about how do you give a fighter credit after a fight when you realize that the guy he just beat wasn't really as good as people thought or as good as you thought he was. You know what I mean? Like, for example, Calzaghe-Lacey. After Calzaghe beat the shit out of Lacey, people were saying, oh, well, Lacey turns out he's crap. But people weren't saying that prior to the fight, you know what I mean?
Well, everybody thought Lacey was like the next great American-like thing. You know what I mean? And for the record, I never thought Lacey was that good. I kind of expected Calzaghe to beat the shit out of him, and it went down that way. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. That's a reoccurring theme in boxing. It's, the guy gets hyped up, or people either love a guy or hate him on the way up, and then as soon as he loses, it's the opposite becomes, kind of the bandwagon thing. It's, oh, he's great, or oh, it turns out he's really good, or oh wow, yeah, I told you he's been exposed. Yeah,
man. That's the thing. It's a hard act to balance out, man, because I'm sitting here and I'm trying to think of a fight where I going in, I didn't like it, or I didn't like a certain fighter, and then I came out thinking, turns out he's better than most people thought, or actually worse.
The one that surprised me was Carl Froch versus Jermaine Taylor at the start of this Super Six, before the Super Six. I thought Taylor would just outbox Carl Froch and win a unanimous decision. And then when he knocked Froch down, I think it was the second or third round, I thought, oh man, this guy, he's just one of these European guys, came over here and got exposed, and then he ended up getting his ass knocked out later in the fight. Right. So I was surprised by that.
Yeah, Taylor had it there for a minute, for a long time.
Yep. And same thing with Kelly Pavlik versus Jermaine Taylor in their first fight. I thought, oh, Taylor's got this, and he put Pavlik down hard a couple of times, and then Pavlik just came on and knocked the shit out of him.
Oh,
He's
you
a
actually
front runner. He's a bit of a front runner in the head case.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't stick to what's going, and then once you hit him, the bully mentality kind of goes. You know, that bullying goes away, and now it's like, okay, I got to participate with an equal. And that's something that was wrong with Taylor.
Yep, that's accurate.
Yeah, that Jermaine Taylor. I'm surprised you had Jermaine Taylor favored to against Pavlik, because most people thought Pavlik was going to run through him.
Well, I remember that at the time of the fight, or just before it, I wasn't super familiar with Pavlik, and I didn't actually do much homework on the guy. So I was, I watched a little bit of him online, but what little there was at the time, and I just thought, well, he's kind of a, and it turned out he was just kind of a 1-2 type of guy, but, I thought, oh, well, Jermaine's going to be the better boxer and has more experience and is going to take it to him, and it turned out to not be the case.
Right, yeah, that one was a fun one, man.
Yeah.
Low Place, I wanted to ask you something. You have very, I would say, erratic opinions, but you back them up pretty well, man. So I wanted to ask you, like, most people, when they look at a fighter, they only focus on the flash, like hand speed, power, that really catches casuals' attention. But there's also other things beyond that. Like, I wanted to ask you, what's one fighter that you knew was going to be great, even though people, or not necessarily great, but, better than people expected, and that you got that prediction, like, right on the money?
I go with a fighter that don't get heralded enough, in my opinion, and it's Denis Shafikov. Like, he's legit to watch. He's legit to root for. And if you're not doing it, it's not hand speed, it's not size, it ain't nothing but heart, ability to get hit and to hit harder. I don't know what the hell it is. I'm watching a baby maniac, and the dude is 5'5", and he's fighting 5'11" opponents, 5'10" opponents, 5'9", 6-foot opponents, and he's in every fight. And then people want to go around telling me to love David Lemieux and love this other guy. I'm like, dude, I love that guy. That's who I love. It just is what it. I don't care if he never wins another one. That ain't good for him. It's not good for him, right? Because he wants to get paid and wants to win fights. I don't care if he never wins another one. If he keeps fighting these giants. Now, he did move to 130. Fair play to him. Hell, you fought 4 giants in a row. You stopped one of them. Now, if he goes to 130, starts dominating, I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love every minute. I don't know what it is. And Abel Sanchez, I think that's Abel Sanchez's best fighter. I don't think Triple G's better than him. Pound for pound, I think he would beat the dog shit out of Triple G. You make him the same size, put him in the same ring, and he's gonna beat him down. That's just my opinion.
And again, that's a pretty interesting opinion from Locally Split. Can you mute your mic if we're gonna be talking with somebody else, because there's too much background noise coming from your end?
Okay, hang on a second.
No problem, man. No problem. Just saying. Yeah. By the way, Denis Shafikov, who's he fighting next? Does he have a fight set? Because I know he always stuck in.
I think it's tonight. He's on tonight's card, or it's either that. He's taking a tune-up fight, a comeback fight, or it's either that Salido card. But I'm definitely gonna catch him when he comes up. Even if I have to, I know he's not gonna get a TV day because he's taking a step back. I think it's
He's fighting Rene Alvarado.
That really ain't a step back. Rene knocked out Gamboa last, didn't
he? Yeah, I'm looking at his record. He's 27-8.
No, he lost to Gamboa. He lost. Who was that?
Oh, did he?
Gamboa out.
Oh man, I don't remember.
He gave Gamboa hell, I believe, at least. That's what I believe I remember.
I'm gonna put in the
and then Gamboa went on to quit that fight after him, I believe.
Well, I'm gonna show the highlights here from Gamboa's fight against Alvarado, so we'll take a look at Alvarado and see what type of fighter he is.
Yeah, he knocked him down. He knocked. Yeah, that's the guy that Gamboa was struggling with, and they gave him that decision. So it might. I mean, for Shafikov, I think he's gonna keep his technique too good. He's gonna be in his chest too much, and everything that Gamboa isn't. And still, people won't realize what kind of talent they sleeping on. This dude was a street fighter. Just came from the fucking streets, throwing knuckles with people. Who the fuck do you know at 5'5" is a street fighter? Who? Would you be a fucking street fighter at 5? I wouldn't. I have a McDonald's job or something. I'd be somewhere safe. Hoping I had a big brother.
Yeah, man.
You're fucking kidding me, man. That dude, bro, man, I got nothing but respect for that kind of fighter right there. Nothing but it. Several fighters I do not like. I would tell you to the moon and back. They can shove it up their ass. They promoter, they managers too. And I wish I could DDT them. But this dude right here, I get an autograph, take his picture, put it on my personal Facebook where nobody knows boxing. They be like, and I'd be just probably just no homo, dick riding, and they would be saying, who the hell is this guy you take picture with? Don't worry about it. I respect him personally. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, man. I think it's a bit of a shame that he's fighting on PBC and, I mean, the Spike TV where very few people are watching him. He should be fighting. I mean, if anybody's an HBO after boxing after dark type of fighter, I think it's Shafikov, man.
I think that's what he's on. He's on that ESPN card, HBO card. I think it's the Salido Roman card.
Yeah,
that's what he's on. He's on what is it? HBO something.
Hey, by the way, did Shafikov, I forget, did he fight Robert Easter Jr.?
Yeah, he gave him a hell of a fight too, and PBC said 120, 108, and I was sick to my stomach.
Yeah, I remember that decision.
Sick to my stomach. He was right in that fight. Like, that fight was an either way kind of fight, and it was on Bounce TV, and you know, he just had to deal with it. 2 cards were 120 to 108. The thing about the dude, he flew into Robert Easter's fucking hometown. Okay, came to you know, where did he fight Bartholomew at? I believe it was
135.
Can't remember.
I think it was
Bartholomew, another a two-weight division champion, 5'11" versus 5'5". Stop playing, people. Stop playing. You sleeping if you don't know this dude. I told people, somebody was talking to me about Roman Gonzalez. I said, yo, you think Roman Gonzalez had weight problems and he's the small guy in the room? I said, where are you talking for Denis Shafikov? Don't talk to me about Roman Gonzalez being smaller than Visa Card. I can't remember. Don't talk to me about that. Being smaller than Kit Kat. What about this guy? He come to their nipples.
Right.
He come to the nipples. He knocked one of them out. Stop it. I get it. You see the resume, you say, oh, he lost. He this, he that. Man, stop playing, man.
Yeah,
stop it.
A lot of people haven't seen the fights. A lot of people haven't seen him fight, man. And Split, what do you think about Shafikov? Do you share Low Place's opinion about Shafikov, that he should be more recognized?
Not really. I'm not. He's a good fighter, but I'm not overly impressed with him thus far. I've only seen him fight, a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, I think. There's nothing that really impresses me. Like, I don't think he's a special fighter.
Let me ask you this: so if you walk out your door right now, it's a 5'11" dude, and you see the talent in him. You see that he's been in somebody's gym, and it's a 5'5" dude fighting him, and that 5'5" dude is getting in his ass. That's not special.
No, not necessarily. I've been in fights with guys a foot taller than me, even when I lose. But I mean, I can still do damage on the inside. It doesn't mean I'm a good fighter. I mean, this dude lost to Robert Easter Jr. and Robert's good. Robert's clearly better.
Go watch the fight. Go watch the fight.
I have. I saw it, man. He lost.
You can't say I lost. No, they can't do that. They can give him.
I know that there was that controversy surrounding it. I thought Easter won, but I thought it was definitely Easter put in a pretty shitty performance. And I mean, Chekhov.
That was Easter finding out. That was Easter finding out that your jab, he knows how to get away from it. His head movement coming forward, some of the best for these. Man, I'm telling you, I don't want to make it out about him, but the dude is special. If he's special, there ain't too many people.
Well, I mean, I was just looking at his resume. How do you say he's special?
He's special, man.
Put him aside from Easter Jr., man. There's no one on there that matters.
Maybe look, when Robert Easter Jr. fights Mikey Garcia, and maybe we see them if they fight. Maybe we see he might knock out Garcia because Garcia's never fought anybody that could keep range this long. Maybe we see that. And but the thing I'm saying is Richard Coleman, we know they can fight. Robert Easter Jr., we know they're giants compared to him. You may be right. He may get in there with somebody his own size, and he may not He may not feel. I don't know. I really can't call it because I don't believe that train of thought. I believe he's going to whoop somebody if there's on sides. They're gonna have a nightmare on their hands. I just believe, I believe Francis Bartholomew was on his way to being a pound for pound level fighter until the Relic fight. He was handling everybody. He was on his way to being 3-weight division champion, and he got in there with Relic. And he got in there with Relic, and he struggled a bit. It was a close fight, and I'm glad they're doing it again to get a rightful winner. But Shafikov, man, you're not supposed to beat guys 5 inches taller than you. You're not even supposed to fight them 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a row. You're not supposed to do that. Nobody else does.
Well, I would agree with you in your praise of him if he had done what he's done against against more credible opposition. I mean, he might be special, but I mean, he's got to beat somebody with a name. You know what I mean? And he's got to look good doing it.
Well, I don't agree with gotta beat. I just, when I see an uphill battle, I respect it for what it is, and I could just support a dude because what I see from him, and what I know other people do and they're not willing to do. Like, I haven't heard Linares calling out Robert Easter Jr. I haven't heard him doing it. And we know Linares can be a train wreck. We know he can get to it. This dude's like, oh, you're taller than me? So what? Go to the purse bid. 25%, I'll take it. And I'm fighting your giant ass. That's what he does. That's what he's done twice. Twice.
Well, like I said, the opposition he's done it against is limited. So
who's limited? Who's limited?
Everybody on his resume.
I gotta ask you, how is Robert Easter? Robert Easter Jr. knocked the man face first with a right hand. When you dealing with somebody who can hit you from across the street like that, can keep range, can use their feet and counterpunch, you don't say the word limited and he likes to fight on the inside. Is he the greatest fighter in the world? No, he's not. But he's not a limited fighter. He's a fighter that actually tries to use too much of his arsenal when he has, he can keep the reach and the distance. Instead, he goes in the inside and he starts banging away. He's really, I don't want to sound overconfident of him over here, but he's a complete fighter. He just shouldn't try to be one so much. He should use what's to his advantage.
I don't know. When I watch Shafikov fight, I see not a one-dimensional guy, but very, very limited. Like, he's just kind of a brawler in my eyes.
But what can you?
I mean, he's got skill there, but I mean, you can be a boxer puncher. You can be many things.
No, not at 5'5" when you're fighting 5'11". You can't be a boxer.
That's not true.
No. Not with guys like Bartholomew and what's this kid's name? We're just talking Robert Easter Jr. You can't. Robert Easter Jr. is 7 inches taller than the man. He's 7 inches taller. You can't box, and he's much longer. You can't try to just say, "Oh, I'm going to be on the back foot all night." No, you can't do it. They'll take their time. They'll just hit you with a jab. It'll be a slow-paced fight. You won't be able to get off as much. His only chance of winning is to come forward with his foot speed, with his punches and bunches, with his hands high, with his body work, with his catch and shoots. And the man, to me, it's two guys in this sport, and I gotta say it. I thought Salido was something special, where he could just get hit, never stop. Nope. Shafikov got him beat in that sense. Shafikov has him beat. He's fighting giants, and I've seen Bartholomew knock a man out cold. I've seen it. I've seen Robert Easter Jr. knock a man out cold. This dude was like.
Well, I've seen a lot of guys knocked out cold by guys that don't have a lot of talent. The knockout doesn't really matter. I'm just looking at the fighter himself. Shafikov is good, and almost anybody that comes out of the summit's going to be, aggressive and decent. But I don't know, man. I just don't see it.
I think he's better than anybody in the summit.
Oh no, Golovkin is the most complete fighter that's in that gym right now.
You put Golovkin in that ring, the same size as Denis Shafikov, and I'm telling
no way, dude. No way, no how.
I'm telling you right now, Gennady Golovkin is taking that L. He is taking
and Adonis is pound for pound number 1, right?
No. Oh, you want to go there? Let me give you another one. Hold on. Let me give you another one. You put Denis Shafikov in a ring the same size as Adonis. And guess what?
No.
Adonis might be taking that L.
Whoa.
I mean it.
I don't think so, man.
I mean
Adonis moves way too good for Shafikov.
Yeah, that's the difference. That's the difference from him and Gillon. But if he gets on the inside, Adonis ain't better. And he would get that. I'm just giving him the credit that he walks through everything he's been hit with.
Yeah, but he hasn't been in with anything of note, man, except for Robert Easter Jr.
Francis Bartholomew is about to be a 3-time weight division champion potentially in his next fight. You can't.
But who is Bartholomew faced? That's makes you think he's great.
Shafikov.
No, you got Antonio DeMarco, who's way past it.
Shafikov. Let's go there. Antonio DeMarco. One fighter doesn't make the dude, man. Let's go there. Antonio DeMarco just knocked out a undefeated prospect, and before that, Antonio DeMarco gave Omar Figueroa Jr. a hell of a fight before, and then Omar Figueroa Jr. just went up and did what Keith Thurman couldn't do and knocked out Robert Guerrero.
Robert Guerrero, dude, you can't even throw that name out. That's
I'm just
insane.
Keith Thurman didn't knock him out.
That guy. No, Robert Guerrero at his peak was a Friday night fighter at best. The guy's a gatekeeper, man.
I'm just telling you. Keith Thurman got in with Robert Guerrero, and Keith Thurman likely lost the last few rounds to Robert Guerrero. Omar Figueroa Jr. laid his ass out and ended his career.
But knocking out Robert Guerrero or beating him in any fashion really isn't that something that you.
What did they not? Who knocked him out? I mean, did Keith Thurman knock him out? You got it. But Keith Thurman.
After how many losses?
I see what you're trying to say. But Omar Figueroa was at his best at 140. That was his weight class. He's still looking good at 147. I'm just saying, man.
You tend to praise gatekeepers and journeyman a lot more than they deserve.
No,
man.
I'm not giving them. I'm not telling you that pound for pound. Yes, they are boxing. Most fights are the undermen in boxing getting fights, while the big men fight fucking mismatches. That's what most of boxing is. So I've grown to appreciate them, and Shafikov, Bartholomew, they don't have the most superb resumes, but they fought the guy who had the belts. Bartholomew fought his mandatory and a rifle champion prior to that, who ducked Shafikov, Mickey Bay, and he beat him. He had to win his IBF title twice because they stole the first one from him. Like, Bartholomew went up and fought Relic in his first fight at 140 after Relic had, in my opinion, walked through Ricky Burns. So they're willing to scrap.
Well, can I just say that this is an interesting point about what we were talking about earlier about hindsight and giving certain fighters credit, because yes, Guerrero, he was I would say shot because he didn't look sharp at all against Figueroa, but like Lopez is saying, Danny Garcia could knock him out, Keith Thurman could knock him out, Mayweather could knock him out. So at what point do we say, yes, Figueroa, did a good job, or at what point do we say, nah, forget it, Guerrero was shot and he was never all that good? Can we just agree that Shafikov is a tough outing for anybody?
Say again?
You said who is Shafikov is?
No, can we all agree that Shafikov is a tough fight for anybody? Anybody that he faces is going to have a tough time.
Oh, he's nobody's going to walk through him like that, but
I want to see him lose that extra 5 pounds the right way. And after that, because he may be short at the weight, but maybe that's his right weight. But after that, I want to see if he can lose that extra 5 and get to 30 the right way, I do believe he's held. But if we see him struggling with Rene Alvarado, and we saw him taking massive punches from those guys, either he's shot worn or he's drained. And we got to take that into account after this fight. But if he walks through him, I'm ready to see him versus anybody down there.
Split, can you mute, please, man? Because there's a lot of background noise coming from him.
He's still having he's still having family from Thanksgiving over, man. That's what's going on over there.
Too much pumpkin pie and turkey going around, man. I thought turkey was supposed to make you sleepy, man.
Shit.
It sounds like everybody's hyped up over there. It's interesting. You mentioned Lopez. You mentioned Argenis Mendes. or I don't know if that's how you say it in English. I don't know how you spell.
That's it.
Yeah, he was. I remember watching him train on YouTube a couple of years back. I'm guessing 2010, 2011, and he looked pretty good. Some people were calling him the Dominican Floyd Mayweather, and then he just he didn't look good against certain fighters, and then Barthélemy iced him, and then decisioned him, I believe, in the rematch. So yeah, that's what happens sometimes too. You, like I said, some people focus on the flash, the speed, the agility, the power, but what else is there behind there? Is there heart? Is there a chin? Is there are they smart? I mean, what do you think about Mendes? Is that a good win for a guy like, let's say, Easter Jr. or?
Every fight that he lost, he was close in. That I remember seeing him in. He was close at the top level. Anyways, he had lost prior on the lower level, but in the championship fights he was in, he lost that one close. And then I believe he was defending his title and he had a draw. But look, he got the title away from who has the title. He actually went back and beat Zagato, who beat him. So you got to take the title from who got it. And that's what Barthélemy did. And he didn't try to sit on it. He tried to move up weight classes and get unifications, and nobody would fight him. So, I mean, it's just a do what you got to do win. And he showed good skills in those wins. He can box and he can bang. I think he needs to start boxing more at 140, though.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yo, Split, man, there's too much noise coming from your end, man. You can't change rooms or reduce the noise somehow?
So I'm sorry. I had it on. I thought I had it on mute. Sorry, man.
No problem, man. All right. Yeah. Well, Split. I mean, if you're gonna talk, I might as well get you talking now. Well, what do you think about real quick Kovalev's return tonight?
I think he's gonna win fairly easily, probably by stoppage. What's interesting to me about Kovalev is there were all the rumors about his drinking and his lack of discipline and all of that shit talking he did, and nobody fucking believed it. I was on your show a couple of months ago, BDA, and saying that, and everybody blew it off. Said, no, that's rumors. That shit came out with John David Jackson, basically indicating he had been talking to Ward's camp, prior to the second fight, and that he told them, anybody that goes to the body because he drinks so much vodka is going to beat him or win the fight. And I know some people think, well, it's just Jackson talking shit, or trying to, it's just to get back at Kovalev. I think it's all true, man. And then I saw I read a couple of articles today and yesterday about how Kovalev, and even HBO's trying to sell that story angle or that line where it's, I'm rejuvenated, I'm refocused, I cut out the beer, I got rid of the soft drinks, I'm eating properly. But I honestly don't think anything's changed. He'll win tonight because Shabranskyy is just kind of an average opponent, I guess. He'll probably get some rounds in him, but I think at the elite levels of the sport, I think Kovalev is done.
Whoa.
I think if he gets in there, I think he'll be competitive. But if they throw him in there with Bivol, or if there's like a tournament at 175, if we're lucky enough to see that happen, I don't think Kovalev has a shot in that, man. I'm not as high on the guy as I used to be. I think he had all the potential to be one of the best 175 pounders like ever, but with all of the bullshit outside of the ring and his attitude problem and his drinking and his lack of discipline, and now what is he 30? I think he's 34 now.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening, man. You know what I mean? Maybe if he were 28 or 29, and I'm refocused, I'm ready to go. I'm gonna be the unified champion again, or I'm gonna be the undisputed champion. Then maybe, but not now. I think it's too late.
Well, that's what I asked. I asked Cameron that earlier on. He was here, and he says he talked to Kovalev, and that Kovalev is going around saying, "Yeah, I'm refocused, I'm this and that." But I gotta say, he made all those claims prior to the first Ward fight. He said, "I'm ready for this. This is the fight of my life." And then afterwards, he says, "No, I wasn't. I didn't train properly." Then the second fight comes along, and he says, "I'm focused." Blah blah blah. And now he's saying he wasn't focused for the second fight. So at this point, can we really trust him on that? And Lopez, I'm curious to get your thoughts on Kovalev, man.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll be honest, and I wanted to give Cameron a great story that he could run with. I know he rejected though. But it's a story called the Superman Stevenson curse. Hell, I've told a lot of journalists, write about it, have fun. That's the sport. You know, make people talk, make people think. And that's what Kovalev is dealing with, in my opinion. You're dealing with a Haitian, you're dealing with voodoo, I believe, and he can't shake it. That's that. I've lived in some. Let me tell you, I've lived in some low places. All right, my name is Low Place on YouTube, and I've lived in some low places. I've seen people with the Miami, the New Orleans, those scenes, those Haitian scenes. You don't play with it. The French, you don't do with it.
Wait a minute. Can I just interrupt real quick?
That shit works. I'm telling you, it works, and that's my opinion on it. I think he's dealing with that. Where he left. Let me tell you, he left a purse bid, and he continued to speak. He continued to slander. His promoter continued to do the same thing. They ran a lineal champion nearly into irrelevance, and they're paying for it. They got punched in the nuts for it. Maybe didn't get a fair shake the first time for it. Bernard Hopkins, all these guys, man, I'm telling you, you name the names that had something to say, and you will see devastating things happen to them. And these people that don't write about it, I'm telling you, you at least make somebody click on your article and cuss you the hell out. And, you know, you foster some boxing, but you just got to have something to stand on. But I report it on my channel all the time, and I don't think he loses this fight. And but I do think he has more to come, where he's going to be hurt bad again, where it's going to be another case of you thought you had it under control. It may be this one. I don't know. I just predict the stuff, and it's happened over and over and over again. Kovalev, it's not about trusting him. It's not about what he said. He's cursed. All right. Bernard Hopkins, when he flew out of that ring, when Bernard Hopkins was ejected out of that ring, he was cursed, people.
Wait a minute.
When Pascal took a beating in front of his daughter twice, he took a beating in front of his daughter twice, deadly type beatings. It was because he was cursed. When Pascal was brought up on sexual allegations this year with a 15-year-old, that's some bad shit. These things just don't happen for no reason. Look, people love the curse of the great Bambino, or the big Bambino. They love that. I'm just telling you, you got one going on in boxing right now that is Joe Smith turned down the fight with Adonis Stevenson. What happened? He didn't just get beat. He had a broken jaw. He couldn't go back to the construction site for weeks. We don't know if he's back yet.
Okay.
I'm just putting that out.
I thought you were speaking figuratively. You're actually saying that you believe there's some sort of hoodoo, voodoo, black magic going on.
Yes. Did you not hear all those things that happen to these people? No kidding. Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. Let me go deeper. Kovalev lost an entire team behind this. Let me point it towards David Haye, Tony Bellew.
Go ahead.
Okay. People like to tell Adonis Stevenson, "Oh, I don't like you because you only fought once this year. Oh, I don't like you because this and that. You don't fight the right people." Let's say this.
Yeah,
Tony Bellew, like I said, was going to whoop the shit out of David Haye because he got in the ring and he was cursed. David Haye was, Bellew was blessed for stepping in there with Stevenson, doing it like a man. And then the contradiction of David Haye being loved still after he's taken 5 years off, fought nobody's in return, but now you can watch him. Meanwhile, people like Stevenson took no time off and tried to fight these people, and people don't watch his dates. Watch what just happened. He got knocked out. Now he's injured and he can't make money anymore, right? David Haye, he's in there too. It's no longer just going after in my opinion, when I'm predicting this stuff, it's no longer just going after people that avoided him at 175. It's going after the people that they saying these contradictions. Mikey Garcia took 3 years off and now gets to steal Adonis and Badu Jack's date. Be aware, be watching. Something might happen tonight that him and Robert Easter Jr. fight. I'm not sure, but I'm now looking at things. I'll give y'all another one. I had a Superman Stevenson curse shirt made, and this is no joke. I think this. I'm serious, and it's sad. This part is sad because it's done killed 2 people.
What?
This curse, in my opinion, has killed 2 people, and it's been this month. Listen, I'm not joking. Listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had a Superman Stevenson curse shirt made, right? And I started about 2 weeks ago. I gave this man the shirt to the man. I gave him the design in the store. Somehow They lose my design. I go up there a few days later. Yeah, we don't have it. But yeah, he's like, yeah, I still got it. But then he's like, letting me make a new design. So I knew, I was like, okay, I'm going to email you. He's like, oh, okay, I have it Wednesday. Then it turned in I have it Friday. Then it turned in I have it before we leave to Thanksgiving. So I called the day before Thanksgiving. I had my girlfriend call. She called. She said he can't do it. He had a death in the family.
Oh.
Yeah. Because you're playing with this. I wanted I just wanted the shirt just to show people this is happening. Be aware.
But let me ask
death
you.
In the family. I'll give you another one.
Hold on. I just want to ask you, like, how, like, so just to make this clear, you're saying that there's a curse out there, an Adonis Stevenson curse, but how, like, anything that's related to Stevenson, even in an indirect way, is gonna be affected by this? Is that what you're saying?
That's what's been happening. That is what has been happening.
Now let me ask you this.
Dawson, see, let me tell you a way. I'm gonna tell you about the other murder after this. Let me tell you this.
Okay.
Chad Dawson was going into a fight with not Edwin Rodriguez, but Andres Fonfara.
Okay.
He was training. He was out the way. Everything was good. People was looking forward to say, hey, can he shake back? Can Fonfara shake back? And the week of the damn fight, I guess at a media workout, he said something like Adonis Stevenson is not a real champion. And this guy named B March Boxing on YouTube that I talk to several times a week, he says, he makes a video and said, how can you call a man not a real champion when he knocked you, stopped you, and wanted to fight you again if you wanted it? So listen how this curse plays it. Chad Dawson, just like in his training camp, everything's going smooth. First 7-8 rounds, everything's fine. We ain't heard anything. Late in the fight, just like late into this where he started talking into the media, when you get late to your fight and you get those days, that's when his mistake occurred. Just like when his mistake occurred outside the ring that led him to be cursed. This thing is nasty. I look at it. One day I want to make a damn movie about it. It's just nasty. And let me tell you about the first body it caught. And I'm telling you, it caught 2 bodies in a month. I think the third one's coming soon. People keep on acting like it ain't there. It's sad, but it's the truth. They're playing, and they don't want nothing but fairness. Let me tell you about this last body, the first body. It's a YouTuber out there. I won't say his name because I don't want to make fun of it. But this is factual, and people that talk to me know it. I went on his show, and we were debating Stevenson, light heavyweight resumes, several different things, Deontay Wilder, and it was disrespecting me, just cussing. I'm like, yo, I'm not going to cuss you out. I don't want a headache. I'll let you deal with all that. A few weeks later, just like Kovalev, all his friends and his team is kicked out, right? They're beefing with each other. During that week, the man's dad dies.
Oh, wait a minute.
No lie.
Okay, but let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this then, because I think there is something beyond this world. There's just this material world that we live in. But here's the question, though. If everything related to Stevenson, either in a direct or indirect way, is affected by this, has this affected you in any way? Because you're talking a lot about Stevenson and in podcasts and everything. So
it has. I'm going to show you. I put this in a video. I'm going to give proof on my channel. I was told. I thought, like, I believe like you, we are affected by things that's outside of us, whatever you want to call it, whatever dimension you would like to call it, extraterrestrial, whatever you want to say. I'm not sure. But let's just say I was told to stop. Don't cover it. And I told myself, no, I'm going to cover this. This is fun to cover. This shit makes me laugh until it started becoming deaths and shit like that. Then I started taking it more serious. Like, yo, y'all need to fucking listen up. This just ain't beating fighters. I was told to quit covering it. I'm eating one day, right? I love green beans. That's just who I am. I love canned green beans and some damn Cajun seasoning on it. And no meat, don't have to be meat. I could eat it all the time. Big bowl of green beans. I drain all the juice out of the can. Put it in the microwave 3 minutes. Then I drain the juice. So I go.
Sounds like a delightful meal.
I sit down at the computer. And I haven't spilled anything, right? I haven't spilled nothing.
Okay.
But I look down at my computer and my mouse and my keyboard has fucking juice. Green bean juice all in. I'm like, yo, I drained my green bean juice. And I can show you video today that my mouse still doesn't work. I have to use an external mouse. And I know how to fix computers. I went in there trying to fix everything. Nothing worked. So it's like it was the same day I was told to stop covering this shit. I did a video the same day. So if people think I'm saying this shit and I don't mean it, maybe they should lock me up, put me in the crazy institute. But maybe they should look at the Superman Stevenson curse record and look and see that it has more than 10 fucking wins and no losses already.
Okay.
And some people it's beaten more than twice.
We need to back up. We need to back up here because there's a lot to cover here. First of all, I'm looking at your website. At your YouTube page. I just put it up on the screen. I believe that video you're referring to is the fourth one, right? The one you posted 5 days ago. No,
that's not that one. That's not that one.
You have another one.
That's not that one. I didn't post that video.
Okay.
I did not post that video.
I got another question.
I can't remove that video. I'll show you another fact. Every time I try to remove that video, and I'm gonna put this on video, and it's not gonna be tampered with. Every time I try to remove that video, my computer shuts off.
Okay.
Flat out shuts off. If my laptop is blue screen, okay. If it's my computer with a monitor on it, it just goes completely black.
Lopez, you're freaking me out, man.
Every time I try to shut that video down.
You're freaking me out, man.
No, I'm telling you the truth.
And that's what I'm saying. Whether it's true or not, you're freaking me out, man.
You know why you shouldn't be freaked out? You know why things like ghosts and it doesn't freak me out? Because I'm a pure person. And that's all it's seeking. That's all it's seeking. That we be pure. We cannot give Mikey Garcia the reign to take 3 years off and then tell another guy. Cause let me ask you this. Have you ever seen an upset happen in the ring, BDA?
Have I ever seen an upset happen? Yeah.
Yeah, just simple.
Yeah.
Of course. But you can't see an upset. So even though they may have not liked Adonis's opponents, anytime you get in the ring, you are risking one shot and not just knockout, you're risking death. But when you take 3 years like Andre Ward, Mikey Garcia, 5 years like David Haye, you will remain undefeated. You will take no punishment in that time.
Okay,
but when you come back and you get treated better, than people who have been putting it on the line. And understand, Mikey Garcia is a great candidate to get this work when he gets back in the ring if they take that man's date. If it comes to a place where they're taking his date and giving it to him and Robert Easter, Mikey Garcia only came back, and his best opponent has been Adrian fucking Broner. Nobody on this line respects Adrian Broner. And please, let's not act like we do.
Now,
so his best win before that fight was Orlando Salido, and we all want to remember how he won the fight by asking for the fight to be stopped.
Now hold on. I want to talk to Split D, but I'm fascinated by this split. So please let me
go ahead. We just got to be pure.
Take your time, BDI. I'm being entertained right now. So
no, but I got a question for you, Lopez. You said that you were told not to post anymore about Stevenson, the Stevenson curse. Are you at liberty to disclose who told you that?
The curse itself. Stop. It wasn't a voice. It wasn't like nothing was talking to me. A thought came over you, and you know how you think to yourself, and then you thinking to yourself, why am I even thinking about that to myself? Because it was coming to my mind saying, yo, you gonna cut this shit out. You don't tell him what I'm doing. Don't tell him me. But so I'm still doing it. So I'm at danger. I've been in car wrecks since this. I mean, I've seen more cars than usual pulling out in front of me. I sometimes I'm telling the truth. I'm in a car with my girlfriend. Cars are pulling. I'm like, yo, I didn't even fucking see that car.
But wait a minute. Do you live in an area where there's a lot of Asians driving?
More than usual. So maybe I am in the line of fire more than I know. More than just green bean juice. Maybe it is. But I'm not going to quit covering it. It's happening. And I'm enjoying it. I can't say I'm enjoying the bodies, but at the same time, they haven't affected me, my family.
But you said you're pure, right?
Yes, I am.
But then again, your green pea juice was spilled all over the keyboard. So how do you explain that one?
Because I was still covering it. That was my warning, I believe. That was my warning. Like, dude, I told you today, and I believe I had just made a video a day or two ago about it, or I was probably planning to make one. I wasn't listening, and I'm still not listening. And like I said, I've been in car wrecks, cars repeatedly running out in front of me that I'm not seeing. That never happened to me. That's never happened.
But now that you're still talking about it,
I really might, but I don't care. I'm going to keep covering this curse as it goes, and people think it's something funny going on. Yo, just look at the stats. Like people in the comments, like Hamed, low place. What the fuck? Yeah, one guy says, "What the fuck they're talking about?" And some dude says the pimp curse. I'm telling you, man. King Bucho says he's scared.
Now,
all I'm saying is, man, be fair.
I'm scared
let's
too,
hold
man.
all these fighters to the same standard, or we might not have a sport coming up here soon. Understand, David Haye, Tony Bellew. David Haye, Tony Bellew was the one of the fights people were looking forward to. They X'd that shit out.
Now I don't know.
They threw that out.
I don't know if how interested people are in this, but I am definitely very interested in this. So I'm gonna make an exception here, and I'm gonna keep talking about this subject. Just for this once, man, because I mean this is fascinating stuff right here. Split, you want to say something? Sorry.
I was just going to ask a question to anybody that might be listening, that might believe in curses and voodoo. How do you differentiate the actions or reactions of a curse or a voodoo?
To reality.
Yeah, to just a pure coincidence. How do you tell the difference? I mean, is there a standard candle for that?
Hey, do you know that Kovalev almost lost his life in Russia as well in a car wreck? I just learned about that.
Right, but that doesn't tell me
bruh,
anything.
Bruh, don't deny. I'm telling you, that's one of the things you don't.
No. I'm a skeptic, man. There's got to be some evidence here.
Listen, don't do it. Don't do it. Just let.
I have no fear, dude.
You're making it stronger right now.
I have no fear, dude.
Oh my God.
I have no fear. I have no fear of curses or anything else.
You don't have to fear. You don't have to. But think about the people who refused to make their shirt. Think about the man that cursed me out.
But how do we know that wasn't just coincidence or random chance?
We shouldn't challenge things like that, man.
No. Being a skeptic is all about asking questions.
Yeah, be a skeptic about something else.
No. You have to be skeptical about any exaggerated claim like that. You have to ask yourself how you measure or how you differentiate the two. You can't just say it's a curse and run with it. Otherwise, it's just an argument for personal incredulity.
All right, well, let's just be fair. What we should do is we should find fairness in what we're doing, and we should let these men scrap it out the way they're scrapping it out, and I think it goes away. That's what I've always told people. I think the fairness happened.
But how do you know it's? But how do you know the curse is real? But forget it going away. How do we?
Even if it's not, let's say it's not. And I hate to say that because it's about to get worse as I say that. So I'm not going to say that to you again. But I'm telling you, that's the way it gets worse. You denying it.
No, man. It doesn't work like that. That's intellectually dishonest, man.
We got to change it. Look, 2 bodies have dropped in less than a month by people that I have been affiliated with and have wronged me behind this curse. Please change the conversation. I don't want to see nobody dead. No,
low place. Please, bodies drop. Bodies drop on this planet like every 60 seconds.
Yes, they do. But that's not cool, man. It's not cool when I'm looking.
That's
Split D, please, man. Oh no, please, bro.
Come on, man. You're grown, man.
If I turn my camera on right now,
man. You gotta. I was just asking a question because I mean I'm very entertained by your story and your tale. Like I find that stuff entertaining. But
story and a tale. You did stop it, bro. Listen, if I turn my camera on right now, you will see. I'm not just talking like this just to talk. I really want you not to do that. I don't want to be guessing about deaths no more. I don't think that's funny and.
But all I was doing was asking a question.
I'll give you the story.
I can't get an answer.
Hold on. I'll give you the story. Because in the let me.
But wait a minute. Low place. A story is just hearsay. That's not evidence.
Listen,
that's an argument from personal experience has no merit whatsoever.
Listen,
there's no evidence.
I tell you. I'm gonna get graphic. I'm on the toilet, on the shitter. I tell my girlfriend, call the shop. See if he has my shirt. She calls. She said they had a death in the family. I immediately sit on the toilet. I say to her loudly, I say, he was fucking with the Superman Stevenson curse. And she said, that shit ain't funny. Like she literally knew already not to play with this.
But that doesn't tell me it's actually a curse. How do you know? How do you know? But how do you know how it wasn't fairies outside of your bathroom casting a spell? How do you know it wasn't aliens up in the ship?
Maybe it was.
No, you don't know.
Hey, casting a spell is just as worse as being cursed.
No, there's no such thing as spells, man. Come on, man.
Let me tell you, all I'm saying is I've given it one name. I'm not worried about who it's coming from, how it's coming. All I'm telling you is what is coming. I can't put my finger. The more I look and see what's coming, probably the more I'm gonna be cursed myself. I just know.
No,
let me tell you, hold on. Let me give you my experience with it. Let me give you that.
But your experience is irrelevant.
Okay, all right. Well, let's do this. Let's just stop being naysayers of it and be naysayers of something else.
No. I'm not being a naysayer. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just asking a question. How do we tell the difference between a curse and random chance or coincidence? How do we differentiate the two?
That's a great question. But
well, until we can answer. Hold
on.
No. To be intellectually honest,
let me tell you. I'm not a psychic. I'm not the person. I'm not the person who chopped the onions and boiled them with the garlic and made a necklace and said the sayings. Let me talk to you. I did not do that. All I'm doing is telling you occurrences that have happened over and over again. It's involving one man, and he's a Haitian man, Haitian background, and it's never anything good for them. Let me tell you what I saw happening to Andre Ward. Andre Ward wanted the Bellew fight, who Adonis Stevenson already KO'd. And keep in mind, he got injured trying to get this fight, right? Let me tell you what was gonna happen to Andre Ward. What this curse told me to tell the people, and I told the people. I believe it. Well, I would say it didn't tell me to tell the people. I don't think it wants me to tell the people. I'm confused on it sometimes. I am. But I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to put myself in the line of fire, and I'm going to say it. Okay? I thought Andre Ward was going to go over to the UK, and I swear, guys, I'm not being a fucking asshole here. I thought he was going to return like Gerald McClellan. I'm not joking. Gerald McClellan out the Crunk Gym, Adonis Stevenson out the Crunk Gym, Andre Ward going to the UK, avoiding this fight with Adonis Stevenson. I'm telling you, man.
Low, please, can I ask you something?
Andre Ward did the right thing.
Low, please.
He left the sport of boxing. I'm not joking. It's not funny.
But I want to ask you a question, man. I want to ask you a question.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry,
BDA. Well, just one question here, because SplitD asked the question about what is a coincidence and what is really like a something beyond that, like a synchronicity. When you see things, first of all, when you're saying you're seeing things happening around the Stevenson issue, right?
Yes.
Do you see these things?
It's like I get a epiphany in a way. I get it in a way, and I know those are strange words. I get that in a way, and I have to come to the people. I don't want this to keep happening. I want fairness, and I want good fights, and I want normality. I get it. Coincidences do happen, but to him, all I can say is I'm not in control here.
But my question was
point out to you what I think, and also what I think is when you come and you try to deny this curse, it's something in the Bible says don't put it, like another guy named 68. He puts this curse and he says, no, it's the curse of the WBC. It's not this curse. And I said, you remember in the Bible where God says put no other above him? I said this curse kind of works the same way. So if you don't mind deleting this video, I think you'll find that this curse gets it doesn't get as stronger. So I don't deny this curse. And I tell people, when you badmouth it, it's like that damn it's like the Spider-Man enemy where you hit it with energy and it gets bigger and things like that. It's like, I don't think that was a Spider-Man energy. I think that was Batman versus Superman, right? You hit it with energy and it gets bigger and it gets worse. That's what's going on.
Okay, but hold on.
What did I just say, Superman? Did I just Oh my God, bro. Hold on. No. We're not doing that. I just blew my own fucking mind live on your show.
Wait, what happened?
I said Batman, Superman. You have you ever seen Batman versus Superman?
I've never seen the movie, no.
Okay. They got this this character comes and they hit it with everything they got. And all that happens, listen to what I just said. Superman, Adonis Stevenson Superman is Superman versus Batman. They got this fucking rock character. You hit it and all it does is feed off the energy that you hit it with. You hit it with a gun, it gets 10 times bigger. What did I just say, people? I just blew my own fucking mind on your show, and that people think I'm joking with this shit.
Okay, but I wanted to ask you a question, man. I wanted to ask you a question because you said you're seeing patterns, right? Can we call it like a pattern?
Yeah, it's pattern recognition. It's part of the human consciousness.
But hold on. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, do you see this type of patterns somewhere else in society? Like not just around the Adonis Stevenson issue?
If I did, I'd call it. But I'll be honest with you. I'm skeptical of most things in the world, and I don't keep up with them. I don't think we get the truth. I don't think a lot of news is not true for the most part.
Right.
So I really like covering boxing. I follow my own life. I'm my own favorite person, and I think that's fine. But somebody's calling me a nut job, man. I may be, bro. I may be Cachinello. I may be.
Forget about what the people are saying on the chat. Let's just keep this issue online here. Yeah. I wanted to ask you something else. You said about the curse. You said that just mentioning it and bringing it up gives it power.
Denying it. No, denying it. It's like when you deny it, and you still slander Stevenson. It's two things I think that I've seen. Chad Dawson learned about slandering Adonis.
Okay.
When I talk, that's why I want to SplitD to stop. I'm not joking. I'm sweating. I want him to stop. I don't want anybody else's family to die. Family members to die. The next woman that I took the shirt to, I took it to her on the 20th. I took her my shirt on the 23rd. She had it done. We waited in her office while she done it. She did it in less than an hour.
But that's what I don't understand. Why did she suffer if she was making a shirt? Like I don't understand.
It was a male. It was a male. The first guy juked me around, lied to me. Okay, it'll be done this day. Oh, it'll be done this day. And I was telling people I'm getting the shirt made. Y'all check it out. Watch it. It's gonna be cool. Whatever. And these guys like, all right, yeah, what a shirt. And I'm like, okay, like I wasn't thinking like, yo, this dude's fucking with the Superman Stevenson curse. I wasn't thinking that. But when my girl said, he said he can't get it done. It was the 23rd. He said he had a death in the family and he had to rush out of town. And I'm just thinking like, dude, it hit me. It hit me right then. It hit me. You cannot fuck around with this thing. It is surrounding me. This shit has surrounded me. It's on me. I gotta accept it, and I ain't scared. It's on me. I accept it, and I see what it's here for. It's only here for fairness, bro. It is only here for fair shakes and letting these men be men. The racism in boxing has to stop. The political stuff has to stop. It has to be man on man, and the damn thing will leave, in my opinion. If it doesn't leave after that, I was wrong. It may be more than that.
Boxing will never reach that kind of state, man.
Well, I'm telling you,
way too much money involved.
Well, let me tell you what just happened. A fight that had way too much money involved was freakishly canceled on you. Okay, so what I'm telling you is, I believe this curse, it will end this sport. The positivity in it will end this shit. Behind one man. That's what I believe. Okay. I strongly believe it.
Now let me ask you this then.
I will attest to it in front of every American, every person on this earth. I strongly believe our sport. Joshua Wilder. Oh, you think you're just gonna put Wilder in a big fight without him doing anything? Get ready. Okay. Something's bound to happen.
But I'm trying to understand here something, which is that now you're saying that people that don't fight or don't do right by boxing, in other words, people that don't respect it, including the boxers, you're saying they're going to be affected by this curse?
I could be wrong. But with Bellew, I saw that. With Bellew, I saw. And once again, let me put it out there. He does have. We do. It may not be political. I'm not always right. But when I'll say this. I never really predicted nothing that was wrong. But I know on this, I've never predicted that was wrong. But in my life all the time, I'm not always right.
Well, can I ask another question?
Go ahead, man.
But I think maybe if it's an Al Heyman fighter, look, Al Heyman wasn't getting anything from David Haye and Bellew. But maybe if Mikey Garcia, who is Al Heyman, Donna Stevenson has lots of respect for Al Heyman. Maybe Mikey Garcia won't be cursed because Al Heyman's actually going to profit from that fight. Maybe Deontay Wilder wouldn't be. I just thought about that. These things come to you right away. Like, it comes to me right away, things that you weren't even thinking about. And I'm not trying to make it up. I'm just telling people, bruh, let's be pure here. And let's get this damn thing away from us. Split D, even if you are question it, just be fair and let it go away. It's easier to do that than to have me sitting around here wondering, yo, did this man somebody just die behind this shit? It's easier.
Okay, but you don't see anything natural about and I'm talking about David Haye, a 37-year-old man who's been highly inactive and faced limited opposition at heavyweight. You don't see anything normal about having injuries or sustaining repeated injuries in both fights and training camp. That has to be a curse.
I'm not questioning it. You will not make me question this curse. You will not make this thing any
I'm a skeptic by nature and by education, so I question everything. Without evidence, it's bogus.
Now, Split, do you think that because you're into heavy metal music, right?
Yes.
And obviously that doesn't mean that you're into, like the scene, the whole metal scene, but we all know that heavy metal is sometimes associated with satanic black magic and all that. You're saying you don't believe in any of this?
No, man, it's 2017. I'm 44 years old and have a college degree. Why would I believe in any of that?
Okay.
So you don't believe in the abnormal, none in your life?
No, everything has an explanation.
Let me tell you something.
And just wait a minute. The fact that we can't yet explain something doesn't mean that you get to fill it in with whatever feels comfortable or normal to you. You can't say, well, it must be a curse because this strange coincidence. Shit happens all the time, man. It doesn't mean that there's...
Explain this for me. My family had left to go be with my grandmother. She was on her deathbed. I stayed home because I was left, basically. I stayed home. Not my mother, my grandmother. She was on her deathbed. My house has one couch on one side on the wall, and on the parallel side it's another couch. I'm sitting in the dark. I'm sitting in the dark thinking about my grandmother's dying, my life, my situation, and all these things. I'm sitting on the couch in the dark. The other couch is parallel right across from me. I see something coming at me. A crumb. That's what I see coming at me. A fucking crumb. It hits me in the face, and it falls to the floor. And I look down and I see the crumb again. Nobody else is in this house. It's the same fucking house I'm in right now. Okay? Same house. Nobody, I'm telling you, it came from the couch that's parallel from me. It came from that couch. She died. Now we're talking about this. She just died. What was it? 5 years ago. What was it? I think 3 days ago. Somebody said something about it at Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's what it was. 3 days ago, 3 or 4 days ago. It would have been 5 years, and now we're talking about this event again, and you're telling me you don't believe in supernatural something? No, I'm telling you.
No. Listen, well, if that really happened, why didn't you report that to a university and win a Nobel Prize?
I'm not.
No, there's no. That's something that the whole world. That's something that the whole fucking world should know about.
No, let me say something.
If it's real.
Here's the thing.
I shouldn't have told you that. I shouldn't have told you.
No. You take that. You take that shit to the university.
Let me tell you why I shouldn't have told you that.
Wait a minute. Have it scientifically, independently verified. Then we can talk about supernatural. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit.
You think the supernatural?
It's all bullshit.
Hold on.
Prove it.
Let me ask you.
Wait a minute. Don't tell me a fucking story. Prove it. Show me some scientific evidence, dude.
Guys. Split. Hold on. Let me just say something. Extraordinary claims. They demand extraordinary evidence.
Thank you.
So that's not enough of a proof, Low Place. I mean,
I'm not giving them proof. I can't prove the supernatural to you. I don't know what science.
Okay.
Well, then don't try to believe that your stories are true.
So Low Place, you understand if we don't believe it, right?
Give me just a second. I don't know if I can prove. I don't know if science. It's for you to see. They do this for you to see. They say either I think they say you're going to fear me or you're going to do what I did. You're going to sit on that couch and you're going to say no spirit is going to take me. No, none in my life. I'm not gonna be fearful of you. I've been through enough in life. Now, one day I might be pinned up on the fucking wall and can't do nothing about it. Maybe, but I didn't run that night, and you don't have to believe me. I'm not here for you to believe me, and I'm not here for some damn lab to come set up in my damn house and live around me. I don't want them to do that. I want to live in my house. But I've told this story to many people, well, not many people, but I've sit there and I told myself, yo, I feel like it told you not to tell that as well. Something, whatever that was, not to say that.
Okay,
and
can I just say?
It just is what it is. I've shown people pictures that I've taken of something just white, looks like a damn plastic bag in my opinion, with eyes, and I've shown somebody and they've sit there and they've looked at it, and it's not something I went to a doctor for and was like, yo, check this out, come make my house the next house on the following. No, I didn't want attention for it.
Can I just say something here?
I don't want to be somebody behind his curse. I'm just telling you about it, but I think it deserves a fucking movie. Like I do, a documentary. I think it deserves it.
Okay, can I just say something here,
I've tried to tell writers.
Yeah, I'm gonna just
Adam. What's his name? Adam something on.
You gotta take
Adam
it easy, man. You're talking too much.
Adam Abramowitz. I've told him to write about it.
I've
told I was going to tell the camera guy on to write about it.
Lopez,
I don't want to be the man behind it.
Lopez, I like having you. Lopez, I like having you on the show. I gotta let you talk, but you also gotta let other people talk, man. Because there's points where you just going. I mean, I know you have a lot of information to give out, but you gotta let me ask some questions here because I want to get to a certain point here. I just want to play devil's advocate here. Split, you said that, or Bush said that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. But there is that one quote from Arthur C. Clarke, and I believe I'm paraphrasing here, but where he says that advanced technology is always going to look like magic to lower cultures. Now, we are an advanced culture, and we do have the scientific method, but the scientific method also ignores a lot of things that it can't quantify or that it can't measure. So at this point, Lopez certainly believes in magic or in some sort of a foul play going on. So I want to ask you, Lopez, first of all, in your estimation, what exactly are we dealing with here?
I've called it the Superman Stevenson curse in the way, like, my experiences before this curse ever started. I said this was 5 years ago when this thing was threw at my face, and I seen it coming from the other couch. It hit me and it fell on the ground, and I looked on the ground and it was there. That was 5 years ago. There was no Superman Stevenson curse there. But right now, I believe the boxers that's been affected by this, B-Hop, Pascal, Fonfara, Dawson, Joe Smith Jr., Kovalev, David Haye, and the two men that is killed outside of boxing for playing around with the curse and being totally disrespectful of it. I believe they've heard this. Kovalev went to Russia and got in spiritual camps. He went to go find his soul. This is what I read, and I reported these things. I don't believe. I know. I know we dealing with it.
Okay, but my question is this: like, do you have a theory about who exactly is behind it? Not just Stevenson, because I don't think Stevenson would have the capacity or the knowledge to do this. I mean,
I don't want to say that. I don't want to. That's how it gets stronger. I don't want to say that.
Okay.
And I'm being serious. I'm almost emotional here because I'm serious that something has took. I'm not a killer. I can kill if I had to. Definitely if I had to. I'm sure we all can. But sure, I'm not somebody who thinks losing life is funny or something that's a must to do. I'm not that person. But I felt like I've been around something that has took two people's life, and no matter how much that guy cussed me out, threatened me, he wasn't gonna do a fucking thing to me. And I didn't have to have his father killed for that or see his father die behind something. And just because that man didn't make a shirt in time, I don't think it's a claim for somebody to die in his family or some warning to be set off towards him. I don't think that's funny. But I'm not gonna go there. I've done that before on my channel. Who I thought, and that's when it told me, shut your fucking mouth. And I'm not gonna do that here today.
Now it's
certain people that know that already. And I'm serious. Like, if I had my camera on, you see me getting emotional here because this shit is fucked up. And I notice they keep saying they questioning it. And get ready. Get ready. That's all I can say.
Okay,
Get
now,
ready.
Okay. Can you answer, or are you willing to answer? Not who's behind it, but what type of person would be able to pull something like this off?
I know nothing about the person personally. I don't know that.
Well, okay,
are you asking like a shaman?
Exactly. I'll rephrase it. Like,
yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I don't even know what that is. I have never studied this stuff. I'm not some person that studies it and then starts. I've never heard that word in my life.
But then, okay, a witch. Have you heard of the word witch before?
Sure. But I didn't know that was like a synonym of the word witch. I didn't know. I'm just seeing.
Wait a minute. How did you?
It.
So see, he just said he said shaman, and you said I don't know what that is, but you immediately associated it with magic.
Okay, maybe you guys would. I don't think this is magic. When I think of the word magic, I think of pulling, the little cloths out of the hat. Next thing you know, you're pulling a rabbit out. That's when I think of magic. I think positive.
So then, what do you think this is?
Positivity, then? But this shit right here ain't positivity. It is never going to be. It's not here to be positivity. It's not here to. I don't think it's here to protect the Adonis in the ring. It's willing to let Adonis go face first on his face.
So what?
But I think it only wants us to do the right fucking things in this sport and foster the right competition. Or the people that don't, you're going to lose anyway. No need to fear when you're going to lose anyways. If you told Kovalev and Kathy Duva, hey, boy's going to punch you in your damn nuts anyways, you might as well stay in the purse bid, they would have stayed in it. See, if you told Joe Smith you're going to do nothing but get your jaw broke by Sullivan Barrera on the undercard, he would have went ahead and fought Adonis Stevenson. And we wouldn't be dealing with it's real, man.
Okay, but let me just ask you another question.
Don't want to believe, but you'll be watching.
Let me ask you another question then. Let me ask you another question, because you said you don't want to give it power, but you keep talking about it. That's the thing I don't get. Like, you don't want to say who's behind it. You don't even want to speculate, but you're saying that there's definitely something here that's causing people associated with Adonis Stevenson to have bad luck or have misfortune.
Yes, I think if I say that I've seen this person only once before, and that was enough for me to think. I'm not sure. I seen that person once, and I said that's the person. I said that's it.
I don't understand. That's the person. What? That's who?
I don't want to say too much, but I seen the person. I said that's the person behind this.
Okay, that's what I wanted to get at.
And I ran with it. I even made a video. Didn't delete it. I ran with it. But at that time, I was told, you better shut your mouth.
Wait a minute.
You better hush.
So what's the video? What's the name of the video?
I don't know exactly where it's at. I got so many of them. And I don't delete anything. I don't delete them.
Come on, you got to be able to tell us which video, because people want to know. People want to watch it.
Yeah, but I've just done so many of them that I just can't pull it out and say that's the one I did it in. I just can't. I've done so many, and I do long videos like this when I'm on my channel. I'm live for hours and hours.
Right.
And it's just real, man. It doesn't. I don't think that it's going to bother me if I'm not dismissing it. If I'm covering it and I'm just saying, I don't think it's going to bother me. But if I go into telling you what I think and how you can do this and the person you need to know, that's when I think I'm in trouble.
But why do you think that's going to happen?
That's when I think things that I can't defeat are going to happen to me.
But why
and I don't want that to happen. I don't want none of this to happen to nobody, man.
I know, but why do you think that if you talk about it, something bad's gonna happen? Like, did you try doing it and then something happened, or what?
That's when I'm telling you. That's when I did speak of names. When I did say who I thought and sent pictures to people. I sent pictures to people who I thought was behind. I know exactly who I sent them to. I know exactly who I did. He's the first guy in my direct messages right now. He watches my channel. He's commenting on my stuff all the time. I sent him the pictures and I said, dude, you think this person wouldn't be able to look at this person? Look at him. And he was like, yo, like he listens to it. He's following every video. I know that's not proof for you. I can't give you proof. This is beyond me. This is beyond what a damn a scientist can show you. It's beyond it.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah, sure.
If you low place, if you can't prove it to us, how do you prove it to yourself?
I don't. When bodies are dropping, when I see bodies dropping around the same thing, I don't need proof. I just don't question no more. I don't question no more. I don't need it, man. Like it's the same. It's the same occurrence. If it stop, it should stop, and then I can quit doing it. When it's still there, it gotta be something. It gotta be.
So you reach an intellectual conclusion by way of fear.
Who created the word coincidence? Who created the word coincidence? How do we know it's not? How do we know it's not some what did you say? Some shyman that said I'm going to create the word coincidence so they can't come and judge me as a witch and hang me or whatever. How do we know that? We don't know these things, bro. Like I'm not here to prove nothing. I'm here to tell you, just get in line, be fair, live your life purely. I say I'm fair. I may be 100% wrong, but I give people the fair shake. I treat strangers like they are my brothers.
And that's a good thing. We should all do that, man. But that has nothing to do with, like Bucho said, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And we've been talking about this for 45 minutes, which is fine. I like these kinds of conversations. And you're asking, you're trying to sell this idea that this voodoo curse around Adonis Stevenson is a real thing, but you've said nothing to convince anybody.
Look at my picture on here. Does it show? Is it showing, or am I just showing up?
No.
Okay, my picture is the evidence that we should need if we quit trying to be over it, all over the rainbow. We saw a 50-year-old man ejected from the ring, land head first, and he got up, grabbing his ankle. He was out of it. He was so fucked up. He grabbed his ankle. Nothing touched his.
So, in 33 years of watching boxing, I've seen lots of guys knocked out of the ring and get fucked up.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's name an occurrence where repeatedly happened around the same man over and over again. Around the same. Name that occurrence.
See, what's happening here is you're seeing a pattern, because humans have the capacity for pattern recognition, but a lot of the time, especially when you're not real educated on certain aspects or certain things, you see things that aren't really there, and then you jump to conclusions, or you assume a conclusion without having any evidence for it.
Nah, I had the evidence. That green bean juice.
No, come on, man.
Listen to me tell you. I drained all of the juice out of my beans. There's none in there anymore. I spilled nothing. There's nothing to spill. And the fact that I know I didn't spill anything, and I still looked down, I seen a puddle of green bean juice. And this was when I was told, you're going to quit covering. Right at the moment, I'm in my kitchen. I walk to my computer, and I'm told, quit covering this damn curse. I said, hell no. I'm thinking to myself, I never quit. This shit is hot.
But wait a minute. But that's my problem with this. He wants us to accept these things. Are the listeners to accept these claims?
No.
I mean, like I said,
you don't have to accept it. You don't have to accept
it. But then what's the point of the conversation?
No.
That's a good question.
It's just me saying what's going on. You don't have to accept it. You don't even have to go off into the tangent. All I'm telling you that you should do, if anything, maybe ignore it. If you're going to deny it, maybe ignore it.
But you keep bringing it up, though.
Yeah, because to me, it's my truth. Like I said, this was my computer and my green beans that spilled. It's my truth. It's not yours. I can't prove it for you because I can't rewind my life.
So then what do you
say? What do you say? Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Well, I require extraordinary tools to rewind my life back to that point, and I'll never have that tool. All I can do is recall. All right. So what I'm doing is recalling you my truth, my times that this thing connected with me. All right. That's all I can do for you.
But why is it connected with you, man?
It's only my truth. If I don't tell it, let me tell you. If I don't tell it, if I don't put it out there the way I'm supposed to,
right?
That may be another thing where it just gets stronger on our asses.
But how do you know how much? But that's
I don't know how much stronger
man.
It can get besides killing people. What's next?
But that's
what's next? Let's just say for instance, let's say for instance, and I'm going to get some deep shit on this. I may say something controversial as fuck, but it's just true. Let's say Tony Bellew versus David Haye goes on, and this is guys, I'm not being an asshole. I hate that I had to go this way, but it needs to be said.
Go ahead.
Let's just say that Tony Bellew versus David Haye, after he told this thing, and the curse told this thing, and I say he, saying Stevenson, and I should say the curse.
Okay.
The curse has told this thing, that match is not going to happen. Let's say they go forward with it in May. Let's say that happens.
Okay.
And somebody runs into this event, and we have what we have in society, a mass shooting.
Oh.
A mass shooting. Let's say that happens. Who am I to sit up here and continue to act like, yo, I didn't say this to these people. I didn't feel this. Let's say that happens. I got to cover this shit, man. I got to say what it is.
But what good does it do if you keep covering it?
I'm just telling you, that's one thing I think.
No, don't. I'm asking seriously.
See, listen, I'm telling you, I have to tell you what fairness is. That's what my channel was brought here for.
Okay.
Create better boxing fans and tell what fairness is. This is the ultimate way of doing it. And saying, look, we are in danger, and people have been harmed. And I just gotta tell. If I quit right now, nothing changes. I think if I quit right now, it gets stronger. Nobody's listening. Nobody's covering it, and they don't see what's going on around them. I don't want us to be blind as people. I don't want us to be blind as a person.
But you're asking us to accept something without any evidence. You just admitted that.
Let me tell you. But ask yourself: is this what you're accepting? Is it harming you?
No.
Ask yourself that exactly. And if I'm accepting something that is not harming me, I can just let it roll off. It's not harming me. It's not asking you to bend over, touch your toes, and shake your ass, and you don't like to do that in your life. It's not asking you to do that. It's asking you to bring fair. It be fair. That's what I've gotten from it. If we be fair, then I see. Hold on. If we be fair and we be fair, we call it like it is, and it continues to go on, then I'm going to start covering this curse in a negative light, because I'm gonna be telling people this thing told me it was fair. It wanted fairness, and then I might be harmed after that. But I'm not gonna quit. I'm not scared of shit. I'm not.
Okay.
So you think this curse is working to make the world a better place by harming people?
Boxing fairness. Sadly, yes.
Well, why would you? Yes. That's terrible.
No, it's not. No.
Yes, that's horrible.
What is it? Hold on.
You don't make the world a better place by hurting people.
What is an unfair? What is an? I can agree and I can disagree. What is a?
No, there's no disagreeing with that. That's a fact.
Let me ask you. What is a person that has the capability of doing you wrong and has done you wrong? What is that good to you? What is that?
I don't understand.
What is that good to you? Lessons are being taught.
No, but if you
said the way.
No.
Hold on. And I said,
teach a lesson gently, not harshly.
I said earlier in this conversation. I don't agree with death. I don't agree. I told you I was getting emotional because I had to talk about that.
Well, you're contradicting yourself.
No. I'm telling you the curse. Wait a minute. Everybody else does.
No. I'm being intellectually honest.
You're using my personal
opinion. No. Wait a minute. Time out. This is not personal opinion, dude. This is fact. This is intellectual honesty versus intellectual dishonesty and vapid conclusions. You have no evidence for the shit you're spewing, dude, but you want us to accept it. Then you contradict yourself by saying you don't like death, but some good can come from harm. No, that's bullshit, dude. That's terrible. That's a horrible mindset to have.
Split D. Let me tell you what you just done. When I was almost on here crying because I said I don't agree with that. That was my personal.
Well, wait a minute. Quit using. No. You're using appeals to emotion, dude. It's fallacy after logical fallacy with you, dude. You make no sense. You've contradicted yourself. I can't figure out if you're for real or if you're a troll.
You are taking the curse and what is going on in it and
there is no curse. There is no curse, dude. It's bullshit.
That's your opinion.
Bullshit. No, it's not opinion. Unless that can be independently verified with external evidence, it's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit, dude.
Split D, let me tell you.
It's bullshit.
Hold on.
Stop. You're being dishonest, Lovelace. You're being completely dishonest. You are intellectually dishonest and bankrupt, dude.
We're gonna have a little civility.
I'm not screaming. I'm just laying it down, dude. You're intellectually bankrupt. I'm not
civility.
So can I take you back to what I said?
Hold on. Guys, you're getting.
I'm not.
You're getting.
Hold on. I'm always going to. It's BDA show. Let BDA talk.
Hold on, guys. I enjoy this conversation, but it has to be one at a time. Otherwise, we're talking over each other. So let's. You want Split? You wanted to say something, or you want to let Low place?
He can go. That's fine.
Okay.
So do you not remember when I said I'm on here? I was giving my personal opinion about the deaths that I think this curse is racking up. And I told you, I'm emotional. I don't think this is funny. And if I turn my camera on, you will see that I'm not joking. I'm sweating and I was almost in tears. My voice was fucking cracking. Don't know if you heard it, but it was. Okay, hold on, because you're erupting and interrupting once again. That was my personal opinion. Now, when you start saying, hey, so how is this helping? I said, yo, that's what it's doing. I'm reporting to you what is going on from what I see. Can I prove it to you? No, it is not my job to prove it to you. It's your job.
No, it actually is. No. We don't work. That's working backwards. You don't form a conclusion and then modify or ignore evidence to support your conclusion.
I was interrupted yet again.
But you're being dishonest. You're being dishonest, Low place.
I was interrupted yet again.
You're trying to sell this package of bullshit as the truth, and you have no evidence for it.
Hold on.
You is bullshit, but you know what?
And it should be bullshit to you too.
Guys. What did I just say?
Call me bullshit a lot. I'm gonna let it get stronger.
But hold on. I want to ask Split.
I'm not worried about it.
I want to ask Split a question. I want to ask Split a question. I want to ask Split D. Nobody's gonna listen to what you're saying. Listen, guys, hold on. I want to ask Split D a question. Split, I understand you're a skeptic and that you want to look at the world as rationally as possible, but why get so upset over what he's saying? Like, why does it change in your world?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Why are you so upset about his beliefs? Like, if he believes it,
he's free to believe whatever he wants. But when you come on the air, whether it's a big show or a small show, whatever the case may be, he's selling bullshit, and then he's dishonest. He's saying, "Well, it's my opinion," but then he wraps it up in this opinion box with a nice little pink bow. But he's trying to sell it or pass it off as fact, and it's not. So he keeps saying, well, if I turn on my camera, and then he uses logical fallacies like an appeal to emotion. You know, if I turn on my camera, you'll see how emotional I am. Doesn't matter how fucking emotional you are. It doesn't make it true. Oh. Show me something, dude. Okay. Show me something.
And your anger doesn't make it not.
I'm not angry.
Your anger, your inability.
Hold on. What I won't do is tolerate dishonest bullshit.
Scientifically disprove what I'm doing. Says it makes
no.
You can't. No. You do science on you. Do science on you as well. Can you scientifically disprove this curse right now? Yes or no?
Okay. You may or may not be aware of this, but you're being dishonest again. Do you believe in Bigfoot or the Loch Ness monster?
I don't know what to believe in out there.
Okay, no. Do you believe in Zeus? Do you believe in Amun? Do you believe in any of those gods? Yes or no? It's a yes or no question.
I'm not a religious person.
Okay. So now you're being dishonest, because if you said no, I was going to ask you to disprove that. How do you know?
I'm not a religious person.
If science doesn't work to disprove something, you don't accept something as fact until it's disproven. No. That place.
Science is biased.
You're
telling me science is biased.
No.
Well, yes, you are.
No.
Yes,
no.
Science doesn't
No place. No place.
They don't disprove
science.
The earth
Science has to.
No.
Science proves.
You can't have it one way.
Science does. No. You don't know jack shit about science, dude. You know nothing. Go get a fucking education.
Okay, I am educated. I have degrees just like you do. I'm not.
What's your degree in?
You see how you're offending me, and that's how that man's father. Look, man, I don't have no harm. I don't wish no harm on you. I don't want.
And I don't either. But you can't come on here and talk like that.
Let me talk to you. Listen, I am not offended you here. I do not want to. I'm not copping a plea here with you. I don't want to be offended here. I don't want you using yourself like some fucking experiment or hypothesis and see if something's gonna happen. This shit is not funny. Let it go. If you look, science cannot prove or disprove this. What I'm saying right here.
Then we should ignore it. If it can't be proven, it's
I'm not going
worthless.
to ignore it. I'm not going to ignore it because science doesn't run my life. Science alone does not run this world.
Science runs every part of your life. Yeah, the computer you're on right now, the internet you're using, the car you drive, it's all thanks to science.
Sure. Yes, it is. Bandwidth and bandwidth.
Science runs your world. You said it didn't, but now you think it does.
All of that. But if you think that's all the world is, hands clap to you. Hand claps to you. But you don't have to offend anybody here to believe that, and you don't have to tell me something that I have seen connected to the one person, next person in my life, next person. You don't have to tell me to keep calling these things coincidences when you don't have to deal with them, and you're not the one seeing them. You don't have to do that.
Well, like I asked earlier, Lovelace. I'm not offending anybody. I'm just telling you.
You told me I'm not educated. You did. You said go get it. You told me go get a education. You know nothing about my education.
What's your education in? Where did you graduate from?
I don't want to discuss me personally on the internet.
Of course you don't. Of course you don't.
I'm educated. Course you don't. No.
Because you're dishonest.
Okay, so you
may be educated, but you're intellectually dishonest.
How would you know that I'm not going to tell you I'm from the Harvard of the South? How would you know that? How would you know that?
I don't know that.
What's the Harvard of the South?
How would you know that it would be, hey, I don't want to brag on myself to tell you where I graduated from. You wouldn't. You ran with this. I don't want to talk about me personally.
Okay, generally speaking, and this is my bad. I'll take responsibility for this. Generally speaking, I made an assumption about you, Low Place, and I could be wrong. You may or may not be educated, but what I meant to say, because I was improperly communicating, was that you're clearly not educated in these matters, and you're not a skeptic. You're not intellectually honest with yourself.
This doesn't require education.
Yes, it does.
Does not require education. This requires what you called it. I'm seeing these things. You said pattern recognition.
And like I said about an hour ago.
Well, hey, I'll let you be a skeptic, and I'll move on to another topic. I'm not gonna look. I have participated in this with you, and I'm stupid for doing it because all you just have to do was something that I didn't want to see happen. You just strengthened this mess by this right here, and I did not.
Well, I'll tell you what I do on my timeline every day. I'll put Stevenson curse day 1, nothing happened. Stevenson curse day 2, nothing happened.
But
I'll go ahead and do it. I'll do it. I'll do it.
I gotta interject here.
You may, but I hope you start seeing. I hope you start seeing where it ties in and where it don't. Because I bet you didn't see that David Hay angle at all, did you?
I gotta interject.
Yes. Well, we talked about that. We talked about the guy's 37 years old. He's highly inactive. Of course he gets hurt.
Guys. I gotta interject.
What do you expect to happen?
I gotta interject. I have to interject because we're running out of time. We're running out of time here, so I gotta. Guys, I gotta interject here. I gotta interject because we're running out of time and we're talking all over each other. First of all, I gotta, just to cool things down a little bit, I'm gonna read some of the comments because we got some great comments here in the chat room. Dead Vibes is saying that we should change the name of the show to PDA, the Paranormal Debate Arena. Hamed says that this...
I say we do it, man.
Yeah, I say we do it. Now, Hamed is saying that this...
I'm gonna create a channel, PDA, man.
Hamed92 is saying that this thing got a little too heated on both sides. Nicola Ferrari is saying that everybody should keep an open mind. Science is fallible and can be based on faith, just as religions.
No!
Well, hold on. I'm just reading the comments.
Give me that person's handle, dude.
I don't know what their handle is. If they want to give it,
my one fucking pet peeve in life is just people that they're not honest with themselves. They talk about shit they know nothing about.
But
like Bucho said. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary, and there's no faith in science. Science uses evidence to verify claims.
Let me ask you. So you may hate yourself. Do you know anything about the time that I was?
Wait a minute. Hold on. I don't hate myself. No. Don't make assumptions about me.
Don't separate me from the pack. Let me ask you. Do you know anything about the time that I was in my kitchen and I felt a curse contacting me and told me to stop doing something, and I said I will not, and then I sit down and I spilled something all over that I make money from, which will be my computer, and I'm going to give you proof that my mouse still does not work today. Video proof. Do you know anything about that time?
I've heard you talked about it earlier, so I'm aware of it. But that doesn't mean it's a curse.
But you went and ranted on it as if you went and ranted on it as if it was your doing. You didn't know. So you just disprove science to yourself. Your argument for science.
No.
I truly should not have done this.
I to this day, guys, I don't know if Low Place is a troll or if he's for real. I have no idea because this shit is so off the wall and so crazy. Like I don't know what he is.
Well, let me tell you something. Whether he's a troll or whether he's being genuine and speaking from the heart, I think that this is a fascinating show. I think it's been a fascinating one. I would love to continue it. I don't know if you guys are available during the week. I really want to keep this discussion going because we moved away from boxing, but it's still got a deep connection because what is boxing if not one man's or two men's mission to overcome the capacities of their physicalities and of their anatomies? And I think this ties in very well with that. Like I said, I want to continue this during the week. Low Place, would you be willing to continue talking about this during the week?
Maybe we see more. Maybe something happens tonight, and because it's very capable. I don't know if this is the fight. I don't know. I can't predict it, but maybe we just might have even more to talk about after Saturday night, after tonight.
Okay, but
Kovalev is in the ring, and he is a victim of this curse. A 2-time victim, people. Actually, a 3-time victim. The man almost lost his life in a damn car wreck. He's having it tough. Actually, a 4-time victim. The first people that he came to the States with, they're no longer with him. He's lost not only a trainer, but somebody that could have been a friend in his life.
I see.
That's 4 different times he's been affected. So maybe we do see something. Maybe we do.
All right. But would you be available? Would you be willing to do a podcast in the middle of the week?
I'm always talking boxing. If I'm around and you contact me, I'm always available to talk boxing.
Split, do you think you'd have some time during the week?
Sure.
If the curse doesn't kill me, sure.
Well, that's the thing. You're in the Pacific.
That man is crazy. You laugh. I thought I laughed in the face of danger when I did nothing. When that thing hit me in the face, and I just sit there and say, you know what? I'm not being ran out of my house. I'm going through hard times. My grandmother's dying. I'm not doing. I thought I didn't laugh in the face of danger. I just say, you know what? If you got something to do, do it. You are me times 10. So I don't have any disrespect to you or ill will towards you.
Are you saying that something's going to happen?
No, nor I for you, man. No, I.
Because the reason I say you're wrong is because even the thought of this curse is only saying, yo, it wants fairness. Anything that comes in your life and says it won't fairness, I don't think you should just debunk it or throw it away or be upset with it. I look at life and say, is it something about this thing that's harming me? Anything that's harming me. If it's not, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I don't make decisions or react and to do good things out of fear of punishment or death. That's immoral in my opinion.
I gotta interject here because
you don't think about your mortality. You're saying you don't think about mortality. That's not true. Everybody thinks about mortality.
Not that often, and I'm 44. I really don't care. It's going to happen one day, whether
I'll just say
it's the curse or not.
I'll just say this: I'm a graduate of a college with a psychological degree. That's what I am. That's why I know thoughts of people think about mortality. I know it's better to be guilty than shameful. I'm very educated, and to tell you the truth, I'm upset that I am educated because I've done not upset that I am educated, but I've done more with things I taught myself than what a school taught me. That's why I don't care to come on here and say I went to this school. I don't believe in that system anymore. I don't believe in that debt making system. I believe in what I'm doing myself, the jobs I do now. So yes, I am a smart man now, and I must say I'm not as smart as I was in school, but what's the purpose of retaining all of that knowledge when it does not bring the money to me the way what I'm doing bring the money to me?
That's a good point.
You got to remember too, smart and educated are two very different things.
Well,
listen, guys. Definitely, we have to keep this conversation going. Unfortunately, we've been at this for about 3.5 hours now. So, I think people might be tired of this. So, we'll leave this discussion for another time. I hope you guys are available. Low Place, you definitely have to come in on Wednesday if I do it because you're the one that started this whole thing off. So you gotta be there, man. Would you be available on Wednesday?
I'm fine for it.
All right, perfect. And Split, do you think you could make it on Wednesday? I know you're in the Pacific. On the West Coast.
Yeah. It shouldn't be a problem.
All right, perfect. We'll work something out then. And let me just say this: at the end of the day, I want to read some comments here from this chat because people are. Cachnello is saying, "Low Place, I'm sorry for your loss." So he definitely is taking this to heart. Covert Operative says, SplitD has been infiltrated by the neo-Christian US education system that invokes science to challenge or dismiss events that are beyond their scripted comprehension. Death Vibe says, mortality of the soul. Nicola Ferrari says, Nikola Tesla, great man. I'd like to hear an explanation for the unproven gravity. That's a good question. King Butcher says, we don't need no education. That's because he has no education. Hamed says, so if science can't prove or disprove God or the devil, science can't approve or disapprove. Oh, come on. Is that a sign? I think that's a sign for me to shut up. So Hamed says, if science can't prove or disprove God or the devil, then science can't approve or disapprove anything, but there are many signs that there is a God. Black. I don't know what God and black. I don't know what that means, God and black. Is he saying light and darkness? Is that what you meant, Hamed? Anyway, he can't answer right away. So, interesting points here. We talked a lot about boxing and about other things that are very, very intriguing. I just want to cap this off by saying that there is more out there than what we can see or perceive. For example, I mean, how do you prove, and this is the age-old question, how do you prove love? I mean, can you prove that in a lab? Can you quantify it? Can you manipulate it and touch it? I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. But definitely keep an open mind. But at the same time, like SplitD said, you got to be rational, man. You can't live your life in
fear. The release of certain hormones proved love before, I believe I read.
Yeah, but hormones. But then see, if hormones are released, then you look at the same time that those hormones are being released. You look at a broom. You don't fall in love with a broom. I mean, I think there's something beyond love. But anyway, we're gonna finish this up. We're gonna go on for hours here. But definitely we're gonna continue this conversation during the week. Even if there is no public demand, I'm gonna do it anyway, man, because I'm interested in this stuff. And definitely an interesting topic. I want to thank everybody that was in the chat, everybody that logged in, Luis Catorce, Dead Vibes, who was here from the beginning, I think, Hamed92, who joined us briefly, Kechnelo, Covert Operative, you know who you guys are, Nicola Ferrari, everybody, and, Cameron, who joined us, Ray also joined us briefly at the beginning, and as always, my co-host, and he is the co-host, and he is half owner and creator of BDA Boxing, that's King Bucho, and I guess that's about it, guys. We'll join you next week, and or this week, I would say, because we're gonna do another podcast during the week. And enjoy the fights and stay safe, guys. Oh, by the way, guys, let's plug your channel, SplitD, your show.
Oh, that's on Blog Talk Radio / SplitD Boxing. Victor and I are on Sundays. Tomorrow, I think we're going on at 6 Pacific time. 6
Pacific, so that would be like 9 Eastern?
9 o'clock for you guys.
Yeah. I already put all the info in the description of the video. So if you look at it in the description, guys, you can see all the links for Low Place and for SplitD.
That's right.
And sweet, thank you.
No, absolutely, man. Yeah, you do our show, and I wish I could do your show, but Sundays I am not in the vicinity of a phone or of a computer. I'm out enjoying nature, so if you did
that's okay. We'll do a show during the week one time and get you on there, man.
Then I would definitely be on, man, if you do it during the week. And Low Place, what's your channel again?
Hey.
Just Low Place #MLPF, and I'm on Twitter at My Low Place.
All right. Sorry, Split, you wanted to say something?
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay, and Low Place, how are you feeling? You're not too shaken up by talking about this?
No. I'm just waiting to see more from. I believe, man. I can't do anything but it. I don't take anything personal. I was basically, you say what you want about me. I said about the other guy that was, curse all you want. It's not gonna come or affect me. I don't get upset with that. But right now, I was just upset that I think he's making this thing stronger.
Right.
That's really not what I want.
But I mean, I don't think SplitD has any animosity towards you. I think he's just
no, none at all.
Yeah,
he has no belief. He has no belief. He's going to get somebody hurt.
Nah, don't say that, man. Don't say that. Cause
he already did. It's already done. I can't help it, man. Like look, I'm laughing now, but I'm the type of person I can laugh and cry at the same time. I'm that type of person. Look, my name is Low Place for a reason, people. I don't know. 1 minute is weird and it hurts me. The next minute I'm like, well, whatever. It's life. Maybe you're the same way. Maybe I overdo myself. Mm-hmm. But I basically don't know with this thing. I don't know if it's funny at times, it's sad at times. but I personally do. I think he just, added another 120 pounds to that thing's bench press, man.
Well, listen, we'll talk during the week more about this. If you want my advice, I mean, I don't know if you want it or not, but I mean, I suggest you keep a strong mind, positive mind. I deeply believe that if let's say somebody's trying to insult you, I'm not saying I'm not saying this about you, but I'm saying if you truly believe that there's something after you, the more you think about it, the more it gives you power. It's almost like depression or like anxiety or like OCD,
Right.
Yeah, you got to keep your mind occupied on something else. So that's what I would suggest you do, Lopez. Like, keep a strong mind, a positive mind, and don't let these things...
Yeah, that's all good. I'm not affected, but I just wanted to tell him, like, the last guy I seen do that, it hurt him. And I don't want to see nothing happening to him, his family. I don't want that shit. I'm low place. It wouldn't affect me. I mean, literally, I would literally say, man, I'm sorry about your loss. But in the back of my head, I'm like, that shit doesn't affect me. But I still don't want that to happen. Like, I find it weird to tell people happy birthday or good night. Like telling another man good night. Telling somebody, someone saying hey to me. I'm just like, dude, that shit don't do that. So I'm not that person that's good with these. Oh man, I'm sorry for your loss. Congratulations on the wedding. I'm not that person. Like, that shit's weird to me. But I still wouldn't like to see that. I don't want that guy. Dad died after he cursed me. He lost all his friends. He flat out went nuts on me.
That would explain why every time.
And I just said, yo, I'm gonna let you do all the screaming. I'm gonna handle that to you. And I didn't know this was gonna happen.
It was low, please. You're not comfortable saying happy birthday or hi or how you doing or.
No, things like that, they weird me the fuck out.
See, that would, like, low, please. That would explain.
What about Merry Christmas?
Yeah, that shit is weird too. Like, Happy Thanksgiving. I don't like hugging people. Like, that shit's weird to me, man.
That would explain why every time I thank you for doing the show on the Google Hangouts, you never answer me back. Like, I always say thanks for doing the show, and I never hear back you're welcome or anything. It's just like,
yeah. Let me see. Matter of fact, I'm going to read our conversation because I may say something like, "Man, it was a great show." Like, I look, you say thanks, man. Thanks again, man. I love the energy. I say Jack is crazy, man. Like, this is facts. I'm glad you see this. You said. Thanks again for the time. Good show.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate
my next conversation was send a link when you go live today. You're 100% right. I'm not bullshit when I say these things. I don't know. I'm not rude. Just
no, I know. I understand. I understand what you're saying. I'm the same way. When people...
said, thanks for being on. Thanks for keeping things interesting. Good show. Agree. Well, yeah. Good times. Like, I just find a grown man tells you, "Hey, good night." It's like, what?
Well, really? You know what? To each their own. Last thing, when people invite me to a wedding or something, I'll say no because I think it's weird to be locked in a room with other people because two individuals decide to unite their lives forever. I mean, that to me is weird. So I understand where you're coming from, and everybody has their own pet peeves. So guys, I want to thank you for joining us. It was a completely interesting debate. We're going to do it again on Wednesday. Low, please, and SplitD, I hope you're there on Wednesday. We want to talk more about this. And for everybody else that was out there, we went almost 4 hours, guys. Hardcore. So like I said, enjoy the fights. Take care, stay safe, and we will see you on the next one. Take care, guys.
All right.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, guys. Hey, wait a minute. He just said he's not going to reply to good night. All right, guys. Take care.